welcome to another episode of Do Go On. My name is Jess Perkins, and as always, I'm joined by Matt Stewart.
Hey Jess, it's so good to be here. But it's not just you and I alone, because our little man friend, David Warnicky,
Our little man friend.
is still away.
And we miss him so.
Yes, and we believe him to still be alive in Europe.
We have not heard confirmation
No.
as such, but we believe in our hearts that he's not dead in a gutter somewhere.
We've got a tracker on his phone, and it hasn't moved in some time.
And it
but
is it near a gutter.
We're
but-
assuming he's putting his feet up on the gutter, having a well-deserved break. But in Dave's stead, in his very small but important shoes, we have a first-time guest.
Yes.
And I'm so excited to welcome you here today, Kirsty Webeck.
Hello, mates. It's nice to be here. If it makes things easier for you, you can call me Kirsty Warnicky.
Thank
Okay,
you,
that will
yes.
make it easier.
Okay,
That will make it a lot easier.
happy to help.
We do call Dave Warnicky at all times
Yeah.
as well, so it'll be
I
good.
call him Kirsty Warnicky, so that actually makes it
It makes it a lot easier.
a lot easier.
Yeah. I don't know how that joke started, but yeah, we've always called him Kirsty Warnicky.
Come full circle here today.
Yeah.
Now, Jess, as Kirsty is a first-time guest on the show, I thought
Yeah.
maybe you could explain to her how the show works.
I would love to. And I mean, Kirsty is a long-time listener, first-time guester.
Super fan.
Super fan. Wears our merch around a lot, which I love.
Yeah, I do.
Do you give it a wash or just...
Well, it's actually in the washing machine right now, which
Okay,
is why
great.
it's not on.
Right.
Because you will know that, you'll definitely know this because I did it to you. I sent you a message yesterday.
Yeah.
And it was simply a photo of me at the dog park in my
Yeah.
Do Go On jumper.
Yeah.
So Jess will know that because it happened to
Yeah.
her.
I know it. I know
So
it for
as
sure.
such, it's currently in the wash.
Yeah, you take anything to a dog park, it's getting dirty, let me tell you. But
Oh, yeah.
everyone's having a good time. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
so my
Does
question...
the dog shit on
The
it?
dog shit all over it.
Really?
Yeah, they do, yeah,
Where else
yeah.
is a dog going to shit?
Dog society is
Yeah.
such a curious place to me.
Matt
Going
doesn't
to a
understand
dog
pets.
park,
Yeah.
having dogs shit on you for fun. It's
Yeah.
weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, especially when you don't have a dog yourself. It's
Yeah, it is odd.
yeah.
It's an odd decision, but
yeah.
I'm a cat man. You're a scat woman. So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
that is true. So my question to get us onto the topic is, what's the worst thing that you'd be worried about if you were on a cruise?
Oh, okay.
What could go wrong on a cruise?
I reckon like a ventriloquist being the only entertainment.
We are going to talk about entertainers a bit.
You've
you
done
realise-
some cruise ships, haven't you?
Do you realise that this is no word of a lie? I am getting on a cruise ship in
Fuck.
2 days.
I
Whoa.
knew it.
Yeah. Can I also clarify it is for business, not pleasure?
Okay. Okay.
No shade on anyone that does enjoy going on a cruise for
Yeah,
pleasure.
that's fine.
But I am going to work on a cruise ship. The first one since you know what.
Fuck yeah, that's exciting. How long
9/11?
since Voldemort?
Yes, since Voldemort. Yeah. Anyway, you're not meant to say it.
Yeah, sorry. Since you know who. How long are you on the seas for?
I am on the high seas, being the salty sea dog that I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 3 nights.
Okay.
Is that true?
Who are you
Yes,
talking to?
it's true. I'm talking to myself. Oh my gosh, sorry.
that
I
true?
really went into something existential then.
Is that true?
Is that true?
Are you now?
What are you looking at? What are you looking at, Matt?
Is your friend here with you now, Kirsty?
It's 3 nights, yes. That's correct.
It's so weird because as I was writing this yesterday, I thought to myself, I should check just to make sure that Kirsty isn't going on a cruise
Oh
anytime
no!
soon.
Oh, this is yes.
So what could it be, do you reckon?
So you're
that might
doing.
have happened to this
I'm
cruise?
guessing an iceberg.
Not an iceberg.
Or
We've
a
done Titanic.
Pirates.
Not pirates.
All right, a big
it's
hole.
like it's sinking though, isn't
It's
it?
sinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
A hole
Yeah.
in the bucket.
A hole in the bucket.
Oh, is this? It's like the Italy is what I'm trying to say.
It's not
It's-
that one. I've already
Okay.
forgotten what that one was called.
That wasn't that long ago, though. Was
La
No, it wasn't.
Cucaracha?
Okay.
No.
No. La Cucaracha.
But
Is it? It's not the one. It's not the Ruby Princess.
No. Shit. It came up a lot in in the research about this one because when the Italian one sank, a lot of people likened it to the story that I'm going to tell you today. Italian cruise sink.
Well, just
I'm
looking
trying
that
to
up.
remember.
So you're doing 3 nights. You do like an hour each night?
Costa Concordia.
Not even.
Thank you.
Oh, Costa Concordia.
Yeah. That's the one.
La Cucaracha Concordia.
That was in
That's
2012.
correct.
Yeah.
No, not even that much. Like,
Oh, cool.
I've got one night off to begin with, which
you got
is
3
good.
nights, you got 1 night off.
Yeah, which is good
That's
because
not bad. 2 on 1 off. Love
because
that.
I like to work smarter, not harder.
That's right. That's right.
You know me; they call me 2 gigs a year,
Yeah,
Webeck.
yeah.
But those gigs, you got to be there. You got to be at them.
I knock those out of the park because I'm well rested.
Great
Exactly.
first up. Although the first one there are cobwebs to blow out, but you really hit
Oh,
your stride
absolutely.
halfway through the second one.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I've got to blow those cobwebs
Yeah.
off because it's been 300 days since I was on stage. Give me some space.
Well, no, it's not Costa Concordia. But yeah, when that happened in 2012, a lot of people made some correlations to the sinking of the MTS Oceanus.
Ooh, is that Greek?
Yes, it was a French-built cruise ship, built in 1952, and it was acquired by Aperitiki, which is a Greek shipping company in the mid-70s. So yeah, it's a Greek shipping line. And the route that the ship was travelling in the early 90s was along the South African coast. So it was going between Cape Town and Durban with stops along the way and also into the Indian Ocean islands, so travelling up to around Madagascar and Mauritius. On this particular voyage, the Oceanus had sailed from Cape Town to East London, South Africa. Because I was like,
Okay.
East London, okay.
My geography's bad, but
Yeah.
not that bad.
I was like, I'm pretty sure Cape Town to London is quite a journey.
It just sounds really far.
Yeah. I don't know you guys. It just seems really far. That's me. And after a stop in East London, they would sail on to Durban. So all of the guests disembarked in East London and stayed in a resort for the night as the ship had been booked for a wedding.
Ooh.
Somebody hired out an entire cruise ship for his son's wedding. He was like this wealthy businessman in South Africa, just hired an entire cruise ship. Every single person staying on that cruise ship was put up in a hotel so this guy could throw an all-night
wow.
party on a cruise ship.
Wow.
That's money, baby.
Well, as somebody who was recently engaged and...
Oh, what happened?
What?
He's assumed that the engagement has happened and a breakup.
Yeah. You were recently engaged, not anymore?
Still engaged.
Still engaged.
But yeah, got engaged and are currently still engaged.
Okay. Well, give us full context.
Yeah,
Would you
okay,
assume
sorry.
that I'm going to
So-
leap to
So
conclusions?
Kirsty
Sorry.
should have said, as an engaged person.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
As an ongoing engaged.
person, as in engaged to be married, not as in engaged in an activity.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
Or
you.
on the phone, but the phone is engaged.
Yeah.
As an engaged person, Matt, and I'm engaged, not you, or you might be as well. But as one of those, and also as someone who is rolling in the dough, having completed their 2 gigs for the year,
Yeah.
I'm getting some real ideas
Yeah.
about this cruise
Okay.
ship wedding.
I think if I were you, while I was on a cruise in a few days' time, I'd be rubbing shoulders.
Yeah.
I'd be networking.
Networking?
I'd be like, oh, bonjour, capitaine. I'm assuming it's a French ship you're going on.
Absolutely, it's a friendship
From
I'm going
Sydney?
on. Well, that's very good.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I'm going to be shimming my way up to the captain's table on
Yeah,
Friday
yeah.
night. Don't you
Charm
worry about
them.
that.
And then, mates rates.
Yeah,
I like it.
that's
I like it a
perfect.
lot.
The,
Okay.
the cruise has a night off, and they're like, Kirsty, come on down. You want to get hitched?
You want to get hitched
Yeah.
in the nightclub on the top deck.
Yeah.
What better place to get married than somewhere you've just had 2 of the greatest nights of your year?
Yeah.
You know?
Let's
The
make
most
it one more.
lucrative.
Yeah.
One more great night.
Yeah.
One more great night to remember.
Mm.
Yeah.
Actually,
Okay, I'm into it.
I don't know if you do want to get married on a cruise, but
So what year are we? Are we in the 70s?
we're in the early 90s.
Okay.
91.
I've been paying attention.
Close enough.
91, the year that the Eagles won their first premiership. No, that's not true. Hawthorn won their
If I recall correctly, a team definitely won.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. But I actually would argue that a team lost as well.
Oh.
Yeah, well,
Oh, that's pretty glass half empty stuff.
Okay, I sure.
That's me. I'm just a
sure.
bit of a glum little thing over here. Blah. Death exists.
I think that was
Someone lost.
Michael Tuck's last premiership.
Oh, yeah. We all remember.
Oh, huge year. Michael
huge year
Tuck's
for
last
Tucky.
premiership. Wow, yeah.
Games record holder, Michael Tuck. Or he
Yeah.
used to be.
Oh.
He was at the time.
Yeah, was he engaged at the time as well?
I think he was engaged at the
Oh,
time.
wow.
Oh,
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
That's sad.
Good on you, Tucky.
You know when people say, like, people get married and they're like, my ex-fiance, because it's now their wife or something, and you're like, yeah.
Oh, you can use that, Kirsty.
Oh,
Do you
You
use
can have that.
thank you.
Yeah, just be like, hey, everyone, thanks so much for coming. We just want to announce that we are no longer engaged. Because we're married. And everyone will go, that's why we pay her the big bucks to do all those comedy gigs.
Her 2
That
gigs
is
a year.
good shit.
Would that work when everyone's at the wedding already?
That's when they do it. That's when it's always grooms, and that's when they make that joke.
I don't think the bit works.
It doesn't.
They've
It's
all
not
just-
that funny.
Yeah, it'd only work if you were just at like an inconspicuous, innocuous like pool party.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey everyone, it's me, your good friend Kirsty Webeck, and oh no, look over there, it's my ex-fiance.
Yeah.
It's my ex-fiance Elle.
Yeah.
'Cause we got married.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why it works in 4 Weddings and a Funeral when Hugh Grant is talking to, an acquaintance at a wedding, and he says, how's so-and-so? And he says, it's not my... he says, how's that lovely fiance or something? He goes, oh, it's no longer my fiance. And Hugh Grant says, oh, well, I never mind. I heard she was sleeping with somebody else anyway. And then the guy goes, because she's my wife. So maybe just don't make the joke. Maybe just don't. I think you might hear people's real feelings about Elle. And I've heard she's a real pill.
She's awful.
She's a bad person.
I've heard, and now that I know that you're not engaged anymore, I can tell you, I've heard she's sleeping with someone else. So you actually dodged a bullet there.
Yeah. Oof. Lucky.
Wow, who knew this was going to be the big expose on Elle episode
I know.
of Do Go On Pod?
Sorry about that. But as your friends, we felt like we needed to tell you.
Thank you for bringing me on the pod to tell me
ruining
what
your
Elle's
life.
been up to.
Feel like a waste of goss if we didn't get it on the Zoom.
Well, I'm really sad now, but I suppose I have to finish the episode.
Yeah, sorry, we're only
Yeah.
12 minutes in, so I do need you to compose
You should-
yourself.
Why didn't you tell me at the end? This is actually really mean.
Yeah, that's true. That's good feedback for next time. Thank you.
Did you ever explain to Kirsty how the show works? I forget.
Yeah, didn't we? Nah.
Nah, we've just assumed that I know, and of course I know because
yeah.
I'm very clever.
No, I just did the question.
Oh, yeah, no, because remember Jess when started saying how I'm a
Oh,
super
that's
fan
right.
and
So you
it's my
know.
first time on it. Like, it's Do Go On Pod is coursing through my veins.
Wow.
But if somebody is listening for the first time and they've made it this far not knowing what it's about, we tell you about a thing.
Yeah.
And you're all
it's
caught up.
always a cruise-related story.
Yeah, it's a cruise.
Tom Cruise, Bacardi Breezes, which are related to vodka cruises. And I started saying that thinking that it was going to end in cruiser, but it didn't. It ended in breezer. It doesn't
Penelope
matter.
Cruz.
Penelope Cruz.
I'm trying to cover for you now.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz.
Cruise Beckham.
Cruise Beckham.
Cruz Beckham.
Yeah.
I didn't make that up, did I?
No, they've got a cruise.
Yeah, they've got a cruise. Cruise Beckham.
Great. Yeah, the other
Cruz
ones
Beckham,
as
yes.
well. Terry Crews.
Oh, that's a good one. Different spelling also.
Yeah, backstage cruise. Is that a
Yeah.
thing?
So
Yes.
the wedding,
Production
Yes.
cruise.
the wedding that was held on the cruise. I'm up to the 3rd dot point.
Oh my gosh, go.
No.
How many? And she's got like 4
I've got
dot
like
points.
6 to go. Yeah, no. So yeah, all the guests disembark and they're staying in a hotel, and the wedding was to be a lavish affair. Had 2 priests, don't know why, huge amount of flowers, and approximately 400 guests.
I
Is,
think.
is this about the 2 priests?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the more priests, the more pizzazz, more.
Yeah.
That's razzle dazzle to me. And I hope they're like glittered up. Wearing those glittery scarves that priests do for special occasions.
Yeah.
You two church types?
Pardon?
You a church goer?
No, I grew up a Catholic though.
Yeah.
Same. I think all three of us did.
Did we?
Remember they had,
That's
they wore different coloured scarves?
Was always a
Yeah.
purple one at Easter.
Yeah, I love that.
That's why we've all got
purple
loose morals. We
Yes.
grew up
Yeah.
Catholic.
That's right.
And that's why
Very
we all
loose
feel
morals.
awful about it.
Yeah, I've got loose morals and I'm racked in guilt. I reckon it's two priests purely because of the cruise ship wedding. It's a spare
Yes.
for when one of them slips and goes overboard.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Because
Yeah.
Poirot's also there, so, which is never a good sign. You got to have a backup priest.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, you know, one might get seasick.
Yeah,
That's
It's
right.
always good. And you can't. Where we get another priest?
yeah, exactly.
You can't just get one from nowhere. You
Yeah,
got
you
to have
don't
a
just
backup.
go below deck and have a rummage around and come up with another priest.
Yeah.
You've got to prepare
You're a
one.
BYO priest.
You got
And
to
if
BYO.
both survive, then you can just add a little razzle dazzle.
I think that's exactly right.
So they can do like
Yeah.
more sort of, they can do some choreographed dancing and
Yeah.
Yeah.
arm movements.
Yeah, just
They
some
can-
tasteful stuff like arm
Yeah.
movements.
Yeah, they can sing the Our Father song or prayer together, harmonise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Our
nice.
Father who art
Also,
in heaven.
How quickly would you get through communion?
disco version?
With a bit of help.
Yeah.
Oh, right. 400 people.
Yeah,
Take
that's
forever.
200 each. That's so easy.
Body
Yeah.
of Christ. That's how our priest when I was a kid used to do it. He held the S.
Body of
Christ.
Oh, I
That's
like
Body of
that.
Christ.
Speaking of razzle dazzle,
That is razzle dazzle, isn't it?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't remember how Father Mackay did it.
Well, he obviously didn't have a weird
No.
quirk then.
It
Yeah.
was not memorable.
I don't remember either because I'd usually lost consciousness by that point.
Yeah. I was just there for a snack. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll have a little bit of wafer. Thank you.
I'd love the taste of those wafers.
It did feel like a snack. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it
in
was a
primary
treat.
school, I remember we were like, oh, yeah, we're up to the snack bit.
It was so good when you had your first communion and then you could go up at school
Oh,
maths.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, with the early
You're
years,
just
you're just sitting
watching.
there watching, going,
And
one
then-
day
Yeah,
it'll be me.
I'm going to get to have some.
And then when you're allowed to have the wine as
Yeah,
well.
I've never
and
had the
drink,
wine.
Drink from a cup that 100 people have just drunk from before you.
It's a COVID nightmare. I never made it to the wine
I've
stage.
never ever had the
I
wine.
denounced my faith at the age of 12.
Did ya?
Wow.
Yeah, that's good.
I was a full believer until 17.
Oh,
Yeah.
so what age did you get to start chugging down vino?
Yeah, when do they let you drink the
I
wine?
can't remember. I feel it was, I think they were, you can have a little sip. You know.
I reckon
Yeah.
you had a fake ID that
I had
you'd
a
flash
fake
around
ID.
at church.
Father Foynes, he
I
saw
mean, the
it.
father was the same one who baptised you, so he knows.
Surely he could have just run the numbers.
Hang on a sec, carry the 2. You're only 17.
Yeah, that's a good
Matthew
point.
Stewart.
I think I kept going even after I started having some doubts about things. I think I was probably maybe I still went a bit for like
get the
Christmases
wine.
and big
Yeah. To
get the wine.
events because my parents kept going. It wasn't until we're adults that my dad sort of came clean that he sort of didn't really believe in it all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
interesting.
And I remember my sister. I don't know if I've said this before on the podcast, but my sister was like, "What are you talking about? You took us to church every Sunday, and you didn't even really believe in it all." And he's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, I just found it pretty relaxing."
Wow, so
like
it's
that-
yoga, Dad.
Like that, he just liked a bit of peace and quiet for an hour on a Sunday morning.
Dad's the pool's relaxing as well.
yeah, there's so many relaxing things to
A
do.
walk
Dad.
in- park's relaxing,
He went up
Dad.
and did the readings and everything. Like he was fully involved in it all.
Well, I'm sorry, but doing the readings is not relaxing, Dad.
No,
Not at all. Not at all.
I think he loved a bit of performance.
Very
maybe.
stressful.
Yeah. We could get him down to an open mic night. He could open for me at one of my 2 gigs.
Oh,
this
that'd
year.
be great. Yeah.
He could come on the cruise with
With
me on
a
Friday.
letter from the Corinthians, or I'm sure he'll appreciate me talking about all this publicly, as I just remembered we are doing.
Yeah, we went on a tangent just because of the 2 priests being
Yeah.
at the wedding.
Apologies to all the cruise crash fans out there.
You're like, get to the sinking. So big wedding, 400 people, a lot of flowers. According to the cruise's musician, Moss Hills, incredible name. We sailed out of the harbour and into the rather daunting seas. After a few hours at sea, the bridal party decided that it was too rough to have the wedding and we should return to the dock and stay in the relative calm of the harbour. Tugs were duly summoned and we returned to the harbour, much to the relief of all the staff. We knew that it would be difficult to conduct a wedding ceremony with the ship constantly pitching and rolling. Once we'd entered the harbour, the ship stabilised significantly, and we all breathed a little easier. However, the bride took a look around and said she didn't want to get married at the docks. She wanted to go back out to sea. So the tugs were called again and off we went, back into the storm.
Okay, so when you're calling a tug, that's not a euphemism.
No, that's a tugboat.
I love how we both we hone in on the same thing, because I was thinking like, what an amazing sentence out of context.
Yeah.
Tugs were summoned.
Tugs were summoned.
That's like, someone's getting fed grapes, being fanned with an olive branch or whatever the branches they fan you with.
Palm.
An olive branch.
Well, they're offering
Asking
peace
for forgiveness.
I summon the tugs.
Tugs have been summoned. Look, there's sometimes when I could very easily rewrite things myself in a way that isn't hilarious.
Yes.
But I was like,
there's something for him here.
We're gonna use Moss's
tugs.
words here.
Mossy.
Yeah, tugs were summoned.
So
is that, sorry, the Moss Hills thing, is that like one individual's name?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
His first
incredible.
name Moss, last name Hills.
I love
That's
it.
so good.
How good is that?
Yeah, it's really good.
He's a great character. We're going to hear quite a lot about him.
Oh, Moss.
Oh.
Moss Hills. So yeah, the bride has been like, let's get back out there. So Moss is like, this really was a wedding with a big budget. It costs thousands of dollars each time a tug and the harbour pilot are used.
How much for a tug?
Thousands for a tug.
Imagine that's a good quality
That'd
tug.
be a good
In the
fucking
90s
tug.
as well.
It'd be
Inflation.
It'd be a very good tug.
Yeah.
Tug's got to be universal. That's not an Australian word, is it?
I mean, even if it's not
could
universal,
probably
sure.
read between
yeah,
the
I think
lines
they've
here.
figured it out by now. But then again, we get a lot of actuallys.
We don't. There's not a lot of words we just have ourselves. They're nearly always from America or England, I think.
Tug,
Tug. That feels
You'll figure
like,
it out.
I reckon that's English, probably.
probably.
I'll have a tug.
Come
Summon
on,
me a
gorgeous,
tug,
give us a
Gubba.
tug.
Give us a tug, gorgeous.
I wish the listeners could see your face when you said that, Jess.
Yeah.
But I also feel like they will be able to see your face.
They can hear your face. Give us a tug, sweetheart. Gorgeous.
Come on, gorgeous.
Come on, gorgeous. Such a grim scene you've painted.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I hate it.
So the wedding goes ahead. With only a little bit of vomiting, and the party continues until dawn. Apparently, there was the bridal party had like hired somebody to play on the organ, and so brought her on. It wasn't just like the ship's entertainment. The ship's entertainers were also performing, but the organist was there too. Could not stop vomiting just the whole time.
The organist.
Yeah.
And that side note is so funny to me, with only a little bit of vomiting.
Yeah.
I prefer none.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't want a sidebar at all when you're talking about my wedding where we're acknowledging anything
Yeah,
to do
yeah,
with
yeah.
vomit.
Oh, it's
And
just
there was,
interesting.
only a little bit of vomit.
Not minimal vomit,
You guys
actually.
looked beautiful. Food was amazing. Only a little bit of vomit. Hey?
Barely any vomit to speak of.
We're actually,
Almost not worth bringing up.
I would say 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like, so good.
The vomit was negligible.
Yeah.
It was like 2 people. And yeah, it was all night. And in the middle of the ceremony, but like...
It can
They
always
couldn't
be
leave.
worse.
We're on a boat.
Well, this party, yeah, it went all the way through till dawn. It was sort of part of like the contract. They wanted to like party all night. And so as dawn is breaking, they play their final song. So it's just this all-nighter. And the next morning, the weather's still looking pretty wild. Strong winds are whipping about, and most of the crew assumed that with the conditions being as bad as they were, the ship wouldn't leave the dock that night. They probably weren't going to sail. Sailing time was delayed many times before it was finally decided that conditions further out to sea were improving, and therefore they could set sail later that night. They're like, it's shit right here, yeah, but where we're going, fine. So we'll just go. Like we just go. It's fine over there. We just got to get there.
That's
Easy.
clever.
So easy.
Easy peasy. I know heaps about boats, and
It'd
that to me
actually
sounds easy.
Be easier to sail over there than stay here at the dock.
Yeah.
This is the hard bit.
Yeah, it sounds so easy. Like, what do we do? Pull the anchor up. Go, go, go.
Off we go.
Yeah.
Off we go. Sail, sail, sail.
You know, this wind, it'll probably just blow us to a good bit.
We'll be pushed to a good bit.
So let's all just have a nap.
What could possibly go wrong?
Fucking chill out. You guys are being real killjoys.
Yeah.
It's going to be super easy.
Yeah, we're just really easily getting to a nice bit.
Okay.
What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? What's the big deal? Why don't you go have your nice little dinner? Okay? Watch some entertainment. Have a kip. Just chill out.
Oh, I get it. Some of you don't want to be in a nice bit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I get it.
Okay, you just want to be in the rough, terrible weather.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
that's-
however you want to enjoy your holiday.
We want to languish.
PC gone mad, don't you think? Oh, we don't want to sail because it's not appropriate anymore.
Unbelievable.
You can't sail anywhere
You
anymore.
can't do, yeah. Oh, it's so infuriating.
Yeah. So is this back to the people who were staying in the hotels? The wedding?
Yeah, so the wedding's gone. They
Yep.
just had it for the night.
Man, as far as Kirsty and I know, we're like, which group of people are about to be caught in an awful situation?
So
Yeah.
it's the people that were planning on taking this cruise all the way to Durban. So they've just spent one night on land and then they're back to their sea cabins. Usually as the ship set sail, Moss and his wife Tracy played on the deck for a sail away party. Every time they set sail, there would be a party.
Right.
Fun. But rough seas moved the party inside into the Four Seasons lounge. A lot of passengers chose just to go straight to their cabins. They're like, it's a bit shit. As passengers and also crew had dinner around 7 p.m, Moss recalled waiters struggling to carry trays and avoid colliding as the 30-foot swell outside caused the ship to rock and move quite dramatically.
I think I don't know too much about the high seas. I know that I keep giving off the vibe that I do.
Yeah, you've definitely got a nautical vibe.
Yeah.
That's because I make you call me captain.
And I'm skipper. I know how it works.
Little skipper and the captain. Can I have a name?
Tugboat.
Okay.
Or just Tugger. What do you want?
Tugger. Thank you.
Tugger's been summoned. 30-foot swells sounds a lot.
Yeah.
It's not great.
That's taller than us all put together. Imagine us.
Do you reckon?
Imagine the three of us
Fuck,
as a
yeah.
swell.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Jess, do you reckon?
Matt's,
I'm
you're
5
just...
foot. I'm 5'7".
Yeah, I'm 5'7" as well.
And I'm 20. Oh, no, we're just over. Yeah, we're just over.
Matt's 20 foot tall.
That's too tall to fit in the building.
It doesn't come up that often. It's weird.
It is weird.
That I'm easily the tallest
I think-
person who ever exists.
I mean, I think we focus more on the fact that Dave is pocket size.
Yeah.
That we don't really talk about you
the
being...
fact that it's my pocket.
Yeah, because
and
you're
I'm
huge.
huge.
So yeah,
I'm a huge man.
It's really big swell.
That's huge. It's
not
very
great.
scary.
And they're literally like, they're being knocked around a lot. It's not just a bit of a sway that you might get on any kind of boat, ship. It's a
Like
lot
the
of
Spirit
movement.
of Tasmania, for instance.
That's right. Yeah, that is a boat.
Yeah.
Well,
Or a
the
ship.
first cruise ship that I ever worked on, there was a huge storm in Sydney, and we were meant to sail away at 4 p.m, but we had to wait until 11.
Oof.
And we were just docked, obviously, in the harbour there, and even that, like, while docked, was like, whoa.
Even in the harbour?
whoa. Yeah, in the harbour.
Wow, that's quite still the harbour. So
Yeah.
that's scary.
Yeah, and you could still, like, and the point I'm making is that was not 30-foot swell.
No.
You could absolutely feel it.
Yeah.
So that is terrifying.
Yeah.
I get quite seasick as well. So
Yeah.
even reading this, sometimes I'm like,
Like the Manly Ferry on a still day.
You get land sick, Jess.
I do. I get sick easily. This is something that this is embarrassing to tell, but I'm going to. I do a thing where I I get my boyfriend, he has his arms around me, and then I put my arms up and I do a little spin while his arms stay around me. So I just get to do a little spin, and it's something I do quite regularly. And last night I did it, and I went, oh, I'm a bit dizzy. And he went, you always get dizzy.
Oh.
Just from doing it 360, I get dizzy.
Is that so? That's why he gets his arms around you so you don't
So I don't fall
tumble.
over. Yeah.
I got dizzy having to hear that.
Yeah.
Why do you do
Oh,
this?
it's a bit of fun. This is a bit of fun. I usually go, wee, when I'm doing it.
We make fun of people in the olden days and the things they do for fun.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were at least going to see a train or wave
Okay.
at a fire engine.
Well, you guys just have no whimsy. And I'm sorry that your lives are dull and your relationships are meaningless. Sorry about that.
I was just thinking how much I'd hate to be a fly on the wall at Jess's house.
Me too.
This is the cutesy stuff she's willing to tell us about. You can only imagine what else they're up to.
Just insufferable. So guests started to gather in the lounge, taking their seats, ready to see the evening's entertainment. And
Kirsty Webeck.
Kirsty
is on.
Webeck. Check her out.
Supported by Paul Stewart reading Letters to the Corinthians.
God, he does it well, though.
Oh, he does it
He's
well.
like, I don't know if this is going to be funny, but it will be relaxing.
Everybody just chill out. Quite suddenly, at around 8:30ish p.m., all the lights in the lounge went out. Unsure if it was just the lounge or the whole ship that was experiencing a blackout, people were relatively calm at first, assuming that the lights had come back on shortly. Without any power for amps or microphones, Moss got his acoustic guitar and started to play a few sing-along songs.
Oh, is Moss a nightmare?
No. I mean, it's literally his job.
This one's Wonderwall.
He is a guitarist.
Oh, yeah, well, if there's a guitar here, hello.
I guess I could have a go.
Today's
And
gonna
that'll
be the day.
You guys want to hear Riptide? He's got a ukulele as well.
Okay, great.
So he's just trying to like sort of calm the passengers, pass the time, figuring that the lights are going to come back on really soon. Or he figured that a member of the ship's crew would make an announcement over the PA, or somebody would come and explain what's going on. So he's just like, oh, everything must be fine. We'll just wait and we'll pass some time.
Yeah, I'll
Shouldn't be
rock
long.
out.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody. He's doing that a lot. Everybody.
Yeah, you
And
know
they're
the
like,
words?
No, we're here to see you sing.
No, you know the words. Join in,
Come
everybody.
Ba-da-dee-oh. La-da-da-oh.
And they're like, Jesus Christ.
Come on, Moss.
You're no Freddie. Eventually, his wife Tracy came to the lounge and mentioned that she'd seen one of the senior officers running to his cabin that was near hers, and he was wild-eyed and wet and wouldn't tell Tracy what was going on.
We've all been there.
Oh, yeah, I've been
Wild-eyed and wet.
there. Oh. That's me any Saturday night on a cruise ship at the
Well-
disco.
Well, it's because the tug had just been summoned.
Yeah. You summon the tug up. I'm wild-eyed and wet. Let's do it.
Wild-eyed and wet.
Yeah.
It's actually because he'd just done a little spin while his boyfriend held his arms around him.
I don't know if it's the mood I'm in or what, but I'm hearing a lot of innuendo in this episode. You were talking about docking before.
What kind of mood would give you that sort of format?
Being wild-eyed and wet.
Somebody needs a bit of a tug up. Gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous.
You, Jess, when you said it then, you looked wild-eyed and wet. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous. Now you come over here, sit on me lap.
You look like a different person when you're in that voice.
I
Yeah.
have no idea what you're talking about. I blacked out.
It's it's actually terrifying.
Where am I up to in the report? I don't know.
Next time I come on the pod, I'm going to request to do it over Zoom, just so I don't have to be near
Jess, and do you
Jess's
mind?
wild eyes.
Do you mind turning your camera off, Jess? No reason. I think it's just
You're putting me off.
It's just distracting.
getting too. Yeah, it's a data thing.
Yeah, it's a data
It's a
thing.
data thing. I get it. I'm good with computers.
You're tech. You get it.
I'm pretty cool. At this point as well, the engines of the ship had turned off, which doesn't just mean you're not moving forward. It also means there's no steering. So the ship had turned side on and was getting absolutely hammered by big waves.
Okay, getting hammered. See everything here. So I'll just
Big waves.
Side on.
big waves.
Side on.
Pretty sexy.
Yeah, that's hot.
If you don't get it,
Come
that's
over
on
here,
you.
gorgeous. I want to do you side on.
That's enough. That's enough out of
Yeah,
you now.
okay, that's
That
We're
was
almost
a
going to
line.
lose our PG rating.
That was imagine.
Almost.
Almost.
This is the horniest episode of any podcast I've ever been on. And I've been on some horny podcasts.
You've been on the Horn Dogs Horn Week. Which is the Horncast.
I exclusively go on horny podcasts.
Yeah, you got to.
It's my brand.
It was very dangerous and really difficult to move around the ship, and everything that wasn't bolted to the floor was moving around and falling to the ground. So it's just like furniture's falling over, vases are shattering everywhere.
A mirror, for example.
Mirror gone.
A mirror would have fallen.
Oh, that's bad
A
luck.
lot of glassware.
Yeah, a lot of glassware. Cutlery would have fallen
Yes.
also.
Yeah, it makes quite a sound, doesn't it?
Does make a sound.
Might not break like a glass, but fuck, the
Yeah.
sound can sometimes you go, oh, you know?
Yeah. Clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, you know when
Kirsty, I'm actually known as the man of 1,000 noises. I could do the noise of cutlery clattering if you like.
Would you mind?
Yeah. If you, I mean,
Please.
close your eyes.
Okay.
And just, you might be shocked, but this
Okay.
is me making the sound.
Okay.
I'm confused why this person's
Okay.
dropping the cutlery so many times in a row.
Well-
Oh, there was multiple buckets of
Oh
cutlery.
no!
Is this an in joke? Like, are you two pranking me? Jess, tell me the truth. When I had my eyes shut,
Yeah,
was Matt repeatedly picking up cutlery and dropping it?
mate.
Because please don't make fun of me. I just want to know the truth. Because
No,
that
no, no.
definitely didn't sound like Matt was making that sound
I know,
himself.
I completely understand, and it took me a while to get my head around it as well. I had to witness him several times, but I hand on my heart, no bullshit, that was Matt. That was
Yeah.
Matt. There isn't actually even cutlery in this room.
Yeah, have a look. There's no cutlery.
There's no cutlery. You're right.
Nah.
There's no cutlery. And Jess looks really sincere when, okay, that
Yeah.
is, well, one, I'm really sorry for doubting you.
Okay.
But two,
I appreciate that.
holy shit,
Yeah.
mate. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's so good. I think that's a cute try. But, Matt's trained for a long
Yeah,
time.
I've practiced a lot.
that was actually incredible.
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
He's quite wasted on this podcast, actually, because sound effects only come up every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
He should really be.
I'm pretty humble
Hollywood.
about it.
You could be in
should
Hollywood.
Yeah, he should be the guy from Police Academy.
I should
Yes.
be. I should be the police academy guy.
You should be. That was incredible.
That was so good.
That was really good. Okay.
You're starting to embarrass me. Please, Jess, do go on.
And still, there were no announcements from the PA, no senior crew around to help guide people with what was happening and what to do. So Moss made his way to his cabin, but on his way, he saw 3 ship security officers running towards the rear of the ship. Sensing that
The
something was...
rear of the ship.
You guys.
Our ears are pricking up every 3 words. Pricking.
Pricking.
I think ships are sexy.
I think
They're
sexy.
horny.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
really horny.
I mean,
They are.
There's no
Starboard,
wetter place than a
sexy.
ship.
Sexy, so sexy.
There's no wetter place than a
Yeah.
ship, that's true.
Upper deck,
Oh,
hot.
That's hot.
Port. I mean,
Ooh.
what? It's just another word for orifice. Which is such a sexy word.
Hey, gorgeous. Show us your orifice.
I'm going to plug your port, gorgeous. Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
This is too sexy.
We crossed a line.
Yeah.
It got too sexy.
Yeah, this sort of stuff might be legal on international waters, but we're on land right now.
Yeah. So he sensed that something serious was happening. So he followed them to the crew stairwell and onto one of the ship's decks. Crew were pouring out from the decks below. And
Pouring out.
Deck, very close to dick.
And oh no! And some looked wet, and most had life jackets on.
Which
Condoms.
is, yeah, condoms. Yeah.
They were running to their cabins and grabbing small bags of personal possessions and then racing to the upper decks. Something had happened, but no one was saying what. So Moss writes, Lorraine Betts was the cruise director and she'd been to the captain a few times and he had told her that there was a problem with the engine and that we should prepare to abandon ship. I argued that this was too dangerous, in the dark with such mountainous waves and with the coastline so rocky and remote. I said that unless we were sinking, then surely our passengers would be safer on board and we could wait for a tug. Okay. Lorraine asked the captain if we were sinking and he said no. There was no water coming in, just an engine problem. I was convinced that he was lying and decided to go down below to find out. Down below.
Now you're trying to
I'm trying
beat
to
us
be,
to it.
like, I want to be in it.
Maybe we'll put an embargo on it for a little while.
Okay.
So it was getting a bit ridiculous.
I mean, something quite serious is happening.
Yes. Which
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
forgotten about, actually, through all this. But yeah, I forget that we're hearing a grim story.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
That's what they would have wanted.
Moss said that the captain was saying they should prepare to get the guests into lifeboats as a precaution. But when the fuck do you get into lifeboats in the middle of the night in rough seas as a precaution?
Like there's massive swell, but just in case, babe.
Just a drill.
Just a drill.
Nothing. And why? Yes, like why are they too afraid to tell them the truth? Like, is it they're
Seems
worried
like
about
panic,
panic?
right?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so.
But
Maybe
that's kind of
panic.
the captain's job. And they're like the crew are all trained in a million different things that could go wrong.
Yeah, and
So-
like too bad if everyone panics. Like that's always going to be the case.
Yeah.
In any disaster like that, you have no control over the fact everyone's going to panic
Yeah.
because
And you need
they're faced with death.
you need a little panic. Otherwise, people
Yeah.
are like, no, I'm not going to go do that as a precaution.
Yeah, I'm actually lounging reading a book.
Yeah.
I think you'll find. It's
Okay.
like,
I've had
Yeah.
7 espresso martinis. I'm going to continue to dance.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not going to sleep until Tuesday.
So yeah, it was a bit odd. Moss
As
was
a
like,
precaution, get into a lifeboat.
This seems sus AF. That's what Moss reckons. So he and another one of the entertainers named Julian made their way deeper down into the ship to try and figure out what was going on. Remember as well that it's dark, the ship is rocking around like crazy, and they're the hired entertainment. They are not even experienced seamen.
Oh, my God, you're making it hard.
Why did you embargo it?
Making it hard.
Oh, God.
So they make it to the engine room, which is empty. It's been abandoned. And that is not good.
That feels
That
quite
feels bad, doesn't it? Yeah.
It feels quite bad.
They came to a bulkhead that was sealed off with watertight doors. And he was like, why are the watertight doors closed? We must be taking on water. Like, they would automatically close if we're taking on water to keep the water in one place.
Yes.
So he couldn't open them at all. And he was like, I'm not going to open the door in case. That would be very stupid.
Yeah, that feels like such a good idea.
So they headed back up and they told cruise director Lorraine Betts what they'd seen. And by now, lifeboats were being lowered to the embarkation deck, and Lorraine was organising women and children into the boats. Strangely, they could see a large proportion of crew getting into the boats as well. But more disturbing was the fact that senior officers were also getting in lifeboats. They were bailing.
Bailing
Senior
before
officers.
the...
Surely they're meant
everyone
to
else is
wait.
in?
Yeah, surely they're supposed to be the last ones on.
Yes.
Women and children and senior officers first. That's the rule I've just come
It's
up
actually
with.
senior officers and women and children first.
Yeah.
It's actually the captain.
Yeah, captain first.
And if there's any other boats remaining, everyone else is allowed to go.
Yeah.
Captain always goes down with the ship. No, you misheard. Captain always goes down with the lifeboat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
The first one.
Because I got to make sure it's safe
Yeah.
in the lifeboat.
I'm testing it. Yes.
Yes,
That's
they can
right.
hold 99 people, but this one's for me, and there'll be others. So there had still been no PA announcement, no official guidance of what to do or
No
what was
personal
happening,
assistance
no
getting
personal
around.
assistance, and now the senior crew are bailing. Like, that feels sus. And Moss writes, I was now very suspicious, and taking my video camera with me, I decided to check again if we were sinking. Once more, I went below. This time, no one came with me. I went down forward of the engine room, and as I approached the Dionysus deck, I could hear the sound of water flowing. I turned to the corner on the stairwell, and I could see for myself. With a powerful shock, I confirmed my worst fears. This deck was flooded. We were sinking.
So strange.
Really weird, but like poorly handled.
Yeah.
Really poorly handled.
Yeah.
Can I tell you really quickly that I'd done about 10 cruise ships when at breakfast one day we were having a conversation and I was talking about what happened in an emergency and mentioned like jumping off the boat, and I'd been in that many drills, emergency drills, where they talked about the lifeboats, and I just completely overlooked it that whole time and thought that we just put our life jackets on and jumped in.
Yeah.
And someone had to point out to me, and they were like, you have done so many drills, and we start every ship with a drill. saying to wait and get into the lifeboat and blah, blah, blah. But I was just putting on a vest and jumping straight into the ocean. I was saying to my mates at breakfast, I was like, don't you think it's weird that you just put on a life jacket and jump into the sea and hope for the best? And they were like, you have done so many drills. Why are you jumping into the sea? And then literally outside the window, where we were sitting at this breakfast table, outside the window, there was literally a lifeboat hanging there. And they were like, what do you think all of those are?
Well, they're beautiful ornamental decorations, sure, but
it's
what does that have to do with me jumping into the ocean?
Why do they have all of these outdoor lifeboat-esque chandeliers?
It's very odd. Not my personal taste. That's
funny.
incredible.
Yeah. Like,
you
what
sort
a
of become
huge
numb to that
oversight.
stuff.
Like, I'd been on so many ships and I was like, don't you think it feels extreme putting a life jacket on and just jumping into the sea? Don't do that, Kirsty.
Don't do that. You're wondering why nobody else is wet?
Yeah. I'm like, why am I the only wild-eyed wet one on the boat?
Bobbing up and down.
That is great. So Moss made his way around, filming and trying to see what was happening. And he writes, one of the crew, Costas, who was well known to me, came around another corner of that deck. He began shouting agitatedly that I must not video here. I kept my cool and dropped the camera from my eye, but left it running. He began to herd me back upstairs, and I was asking him if he saw all of the water. He just kept saying that there was no water, and I was not to
Whoa.
video anything.
So strange. They're like, someone's done something wrong and they're trying to cover it up, or...
It's very strange.
Yeah, so now they're gaslighting somebody
Yeah.
who's just seen a wall of water and they're
He's
like,
up to his
that
waist."
wasn't water, that was a
That's-
magic eye puzzle.
He's going, that wasn't water. What are you talking about?
I'm wild-eyed and wet for other reasons. Jess, that was incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was actually underwater, though, that time, I will say.
Oh.
I was underwater when
I
said
thought
that.
you were doing a really good imitation of being underwater, and then when I looked over, I realised you were
Yeah, you were in
you
a
were
tank.
actually in a tank
I
of
got in
water.
a tank. My computer is ruined.
Jess does good sound effects, but she does the method, so...
I will be doing the rest of this report from memory.
And wild-eyed and wet.
I'm very wet. So it's roughly 1 a.m. at this point. The people who are actually trained in the procedures to abandon ship had already abandoned ship.
Oh my God.
So-
This is fucking
It's no
bonkers.
good. It's
no
no good.
good.
It's crazy. So Moss and a group of other entertainers and a few staff members that was left there swung into action to get everyone off the ship. The boats weren't...
Get everyone off.
That's going to happen a few times. The lifeboats weren't secured properly, and as they were being lowered to the deck, the boats would swing away from the ship as it rolled and then come back and crash into the side
Oh
of it
my
as well.
God, this is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Here's Moss describing how he worked around this. He said, I would stand at the edge of the ship, and when the lifeboat swung against the side, I would put one foot on the lifeboat, one on the ship, and quickly help a passenger into the boat before jumping back onto the ship as the lifeboat swung away again.
Wow.
He's getting people
So
on like one or two at a
Moss-
time.
I'm
On
seeing
the
a real
acoustic
pendulum.
guitar, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait up. So then that person is on the ship as it pendulums out.
Yeah.
Sorry, on the boat.
lifeboat, yep.
And it pendulums out and then smashes again, and they're holding on while he's about to load on another person.
Yeah.
Wow. It'd be like, like that big ship at Dreamworld. You know that ship ride
Yeah,
that swings
yeah,
around? It'd be
yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah. Always makes me sick.
But not fun because you're like not meant to be doing that.
Yeah.
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 And he-
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, it
Yeah.
would be less fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like I think the rides are designed like there's a bit more control.
True. Yeah, that's true.
I guess.
I hadn't really
The
considered
30-foot,
that.
yeah, like the 30-foot waves out in the wild.
Similar
I
to
think
a
they
wave pool.
changed the stakes a bit.
Similar to a wave
little,
pool,
yeah.
right?
Little less predictable.
A little less predictable. Mother Nature
Yeah.
at her worst.
She's a wild bitch.
She,
She does what she wants, let me tell you.
she's a fickle mistress.
Oh, she is a fickle mistress.
As the feminist of the pod, I kind of take umbrage of you sort of stereotyping a woman like that. I
Mother
think,
Nature.
Yeah, I think she, she's goes through some stuff at some times, and it's okay that she lashes out.
Matt, when you invited me onto this podcast, you knew full well that I'm a raging misogynist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the only reason we invited Kirsty on.
Bit of balance between me and you. We're yin and yang.
Just need a bit of misogyny.
Let's get a woman hater on the show.
So this is Mas still talking. He says, luckily nobody fell in the sea or was caught between the singing lifeboat and the ship. Swinging. It's ridiculous that passengers should have been exposed to this kind of unnecessary danger. If the trained personnel had been running things, it would have been far less risky. So a lot of it, he's kind of pissed that this has fallen to
Fair enough.
regular people. And
That's not his job.
Absolutely
No,
not.
Moss was strapping in for some Jack Johnson covers.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Didn't realise he'd be coordinating
They say Taylor was a good girl, never gonna be.
That was a stirring
That's pretty
rendition.
good, actually, yeah. Make your banana
Hey, Moss, tag me in. While you're doing the boats, hand me that guitar.
He played a few instruments. He had like a sax on there as well.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I can play all these equally poorly.
Yeah.
I assume. Never tried. Sorry, that was...
up.
Yeah, sorry. I
Was that an actual sax in the room or?
No, that was me.
Jeez.
He is that good.
Jeez.
Close your eyes, Kirsty.
Nah. Nah. That is. Nah.
He will keep going.
That is-
which is the fun part.
That is definitely Spotify.
Tequila. Is that what you wanted?
That was definitely someone's sax's playlist on Spotify. That
Yeah.
definitely was that time. I'm not going to be tricked twice.
No, I'm sorry, Kirsty. That was all me.
Sorry, gorgeous. I didn't expect to have so much fun on such a full-on story.
Yeah, we're just trying to cope.
Oh, no, you must.
It's a coping mechanism.
yeah.
Gallows humour.
That's right. By around 3 a.m, there was one remaining lifeboat. In a scene straight out of Titanic, the remaining officers boarded the lifeboat and ordered it to be lowered, even though it still had space for... It had about 50 people on it and it could fit 99.
Holy shit. And they're
49 spots.
Yeah.
leaving people behind.
These are the remaining
Holy
officers.
shit.
Yes.
I hate each and every one of them.
Lorraine and Moss managed to get 20 more people on before the boat was lowered, but it was still left with room for more people.
Jeez, these officers didn't take their Hippocratic Oath very seriously.
It's fucked, isn't it?
Or Shippocratic Oath, whatever it's called.
Here's something I don't understand. So there's... Hippocratic. Sorry. I was thinking about something else and I missed. I'm so sorry. That's
Please.
incredible.
Please. Edit it out.
Never.
Please. Please.
No, if I've got to leave in the shit about me doing a little twirl, you have to leave Hippocratic Oath. I had a clean cut and then it got referenced again. I'm like, fuck!
Your darkest secret. Yeah, we keep calling back to it every 30 seconds to make sure it
Go do a little
stays.
twirl, Jess, you fucking idiot.
Sorry, that was me that did the callback. I really
fine.
got you. I got you a
Yeah,
beauty.
well, I shouldn't have shared. That's why you should never be vulnerable.
Put your walls back up, Jess.
Oh, I got to put them back up.
I think it's great, Jess. And after the show, I think we should do a 3-way twirl. Is that possible?
Yeah, I reckon.
Can you? No, you couldn't.
No, but you can have a... I'll show... Oh, you can have a go.
I actually promised my fiance that I'd never
twirl
do a
until your
three-way
wedding day.
twirl.
Never gonna
Not
twirl
until your
again.
wedding day. We'll do the 3-way twirl on the wedding night.
That's nice. That is
That is
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
It's good to, just keep some things for you.
That's
nice.
right. That's right. Keep the spark alive.
I've said as soon as we get married, I'll stop twirling and I'll never twirl again. So there's no lifeboats left, but there's still approximately 220 people left on the ship. And I didn't think about that as I was writing it, but I was like, surely you have enough lifeboats for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
So
Absolutely.
how is there no lifeboats left, but
Is it
still
because
200 people?
they've
Well,
all
'cause
been
they
going
were-
without being full?
Maybe some of
They're
them have already
like,
gone.
I'd actually prefer a bit of privacy for my partner and I on this one, please.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going through something quite traumatic. The boat is shipping. The boat is shipping. The ship is sinking. I need leg room.
You told the story of the Titanic many moons ago, and that would have been before, probably before rules were in place. But they also didn't they?
They didn't have enough.
They didn't have enough.
But they didn't have enough because they were like, it's an unsinkable ship. Like, why would we
Yeah.
even bother with lifeboats? But in this case, surely people learnt from the Titanic, ships are very sinkable.
Yeah.
And so you'd have enough.
That is also such a funny attitude.
Yeah.
Like, it's unsinkable. Why would you have more like just imagine if you got on a flight And the pilot was like, well, we've actually removed all of the life vests because I'm a very capable pilot.
Yeah.
And this is a robust machine.
Guys, I actually won't be putting on the seatbelt sign for the whole flight because I think...
Get up, have a dance.
Yeah.
I am that good at my job.
I don't mean to brag, ladies and gentlemen, but...
We're cruising at 30,000 feet. I'm not sure exactly the number, but I'm confident that's about right. And anyway, the seatbelt sign won't be on today because you really can trust me. This is the uncrashable plane.
As we fly over the Andes in a storm. But there's 200 people left. The boats can take 99 each. You need like 2 boats and then maybe get the other 20 people on, where there were gaps. You needed 2 more boats. So it must be that people had taken them too soon or something.
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
terrible.
So Lorraine and Julian went to the bridge to, quite frankly, see what the fuck the captain was up to. We've got most people off. Let's go fucking see what this guy's up to.
Yeah, so if he needs a tug.
And meanwhile, Moss went back inside to assess how much water the ship was taking on. He describes the entire dining room was under about 1 metre of water. Floating in this were chairs, trays, linen and various plants. As the ship rolled, the entire lake would crash to one side and stay for a moment before crashing again to the opposite side, which is a very good way of describing it.
Yeah, I like it being called a lake.
Yeah. It's really sloshing about.
Yeah.
The furniture was now debris and every ornament and piece of glassware was smashed. I could see to the far end of the dining room and noticed that the main entrance was wide open. This door was a fire and water resistant door and should obviously be closed to slow down the flow of water. I attempted to cross the room by waiting for the water to move to one side and then I would run across the shallow side. I made a few attempts but the water was moving too unpredictably and I realised that I would be crushed by the furniture in glass-laden water. I returned to the upper decks a bit shaken because I now knew that most of the ship was flooded. Isn't that crazy though? He's like, I'll just run across.
Yeah.
Try and time it.
Yeah, the glass thing was the most harrowing for me. Just this wave covered in glass coming at you from across the room. Yucky.
Oh yeah, that's no good.
That's not
Yeah,
good.
I hate cuts.
Yes. Even a paper cut.
Yeah.
I'm like, this has ruined my fucking day.
Yeah, I hate them.
I'd take a glass cut over a paper cut.
Yeah, they're just the worst. I'd be impaled over a paper cut. Fucking hate them.
Impaled. We still doing sexy euphemisms? No. Oh, that's no. Edit that bit out. And this sounds like he's really the only hero on this ship.
And
he was the only one working there who's like, I care about everyone.
Yeah, well, you've still got Lorraine, who's the cruise director.
Okay, so there's 2.
There's Lorraine, and then his Moss's wife Tracy is there, and
3,
and Julian and Robin are 2
5
entertainers.
There's only 5 heroes,
and it's pretty much them.
Wow.
But Julian, Tracy, Moss, and Robin are all there. Like 2 of them are like magicians and comedians, and then you've got Moss and
useless.
Tracy.
Okay.
Why don't they...
Comedians on the boat.
Hey, how dare you? Here's an idea. Why don't these highly skilled magicians make the water disappear?
Fucking hell, yes. Call yourself a magic man? Prove it.
Prove it.
Oh.
Why don't you put these massive tidal waves, pop them back in your hat?
Oh, that's
Why don't
good.
you ward this tempest away?
Fucking hell, these magicians. I reckon these guys are frauds.
I reckon they're frauds as well.
Yeah.
At a minimum, I hope they never get booked for a bloody ship ever again.
But one thing that is making me feel a bit better is that we're getting this first-hand account from Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah, reliable witness.
And Jess hasn't said whether it's from beyond the grave or not, but I'm hoping he said all this in human living form.
I never thought about that until this podcast because you would often point that out and be like, okay, well, we know this because somebody's told us. So somebody survives.
Yeah.
That's always your thing. You're like, I know.
Which just makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Imagine if Moss could only speak through Jess Perkins.
Yeah.
And just luckily you do this podcast and so the story can get out.
He was like, tell my story. And I was like, okay, write the report, bitch.
Unfortunately, Moss was like, can you please tell it not in a sexy way?
Yeah, I cannot. I do not want any references to sex.
It was his final wish, and we've blown it.
Yeah.
Blown
Uh-oh.
You too. You pervs. So it was interesting too because Moss was sort of like fairly quickly all the passengers realised that the actual personnel had fucked off, and so they were listening and responding. They were very engaged with whatever Moss was telling them to do. They're like, okay, yep, we'll do that. But he also mentioned that some passengers asked him to. They were like, they were missing a family member. They're like, we don't know where Louise is.
Ugh.
And he wouldn't let anybody go back to their cabins. He's like, it was better to have everybody in one place. So he's like, I'll go look. So he goes to Louise's cabin, and she's in there, seemingly unaware of what's happening, which is baffling. And he writes, this kind of situation should never be allowed to happen. The least the captain should have done was to sound the alarm and then make a clear announcement over the public address system. If he'd done this, then all of the passengers could have collected their own life jackets and gone straight to the muster stations to which they were assigned. So he's just pissed off that he has to do this, or that...
He's like, what's the point of the drills we did?
Exactly.
Yeah, like there's a literal protocol.
Yeah.
And muster stations, that's exactly what they're called on the ships I work on as well.
Yeah.
And that's what you do. If you listen and know not to
Yes.
just fling yourself overboard, then what you do is you pop your life jacket on, you go to your muster station, and then somebody helps you onto a boat.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then off you
mustard
go.
Station. I love mustard. But the which is just a nice touch. As you go on the boat, you'll get a little sachet of mustard, I guess.
Oh, no, you can't just get mustard.
Oh,
You gotta have Tommy sauce as well.
Yeah, and you got to have a conduit to get it into your body. There's got to be some chippies.
Chippies are the ultimate conduit.
Why not call it a chip station? But it's all about,
better.
because mustard is something.
The
that-
hero.
Yeah, the hero.
It's the
of
hero
the
of the
dish.
Always.
I cannot believe this story. It sounds like maybe the crew knew that there weren't enough boats, so they're like, we're taking these for ourselves, we're not telling you, or something. Seems
I just think they were gormless. Each and every one of them bloody gormless.
bloody gormless and bloody gorgeous. Gorgeous or gormless?
It's not good when you do it.
Go on.
It's gross.
Can you do it?
No, I'm busy. Hello, gorgeous.
No, I'm busy getting ready to do it.
Getting busy.
Get busy tugging. So he finds this person who's just like, hanging out, and he's like, get your life jacket, get out of here. So the cruise director, Lorraine Betts, she was the one who'd gone to the bridge to find the captain. And they found the bridge unmanned, completely abandoned. So she and Moss went back to the bridge together, grabbed the radio, taking turns calling Mayday, Mayday until another ship answered. We made and received various calls from the ships in the area, and many times they asked for information that we just didn't know.
Oh my God.
We wanted to ask the captain what to do, and eventually I located him and the remaining few officers on the pool deck with the other passengers. He was keeping a low profile under a stairway and just crouching there smoking. He wouldn't come back to the bridge. He was just like another passenger waiting to be rescued.
Never
the
a better
hell?
time for a durry.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Spark up on the bridge. This is
Yeah.
Greece in the 90s. I think that would have been fine.
Yeah.
When I was in I remember being at Athens airport like 10, 15 years ago or something, and the airport was just full of, it was just that, air-conditioned smoke.
Yeah.
Like the whole place. I'm like, this is... And Australia had no smoking indoors for a couple of years by that stage.
Yeah.
So it was just like, whoa,
Particularly
this is
aggressive.
full on.
Wow. I barely remember smoking indoors. Because when was that? 2000?
2006, I think, is when they
Really?
banned it in Melbourne. I
That's
think.
too recent. But was it like allocated areas maybe? Because I don't really remember being
No,
in
I
in pubs and stuff where people were smoking.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember it when I was 18 and stuff, and
Yeah, right.
the just waking up the next morning and your clothes and hair just stunk of tobacco. But it was just normal, and then it's going back the other way is like, whoa.
Yeah. When you've gotten used to that sweet fresh air.
Yeah. What a bad idea.
So he can't be convinced to go up and at least use his knowledge to give him coordinates or anything?
Exactly.
He's having a durry under the stairs, mate.
I'll be up in 10.
Help us
Just
all get saved.
Do the fucking bare minimum.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So eventually Moss got through to Captain Detmar of the Ned Lloyd Mauritius, who asked Moss his rank after Moss wasn't able to answer a few of the captain's questions. Moss replied, "I'm not any rank. I'm a guitarist."
Yeah.
So apparently then there was a pause on the radio, and then Captain Detmar was like incredibly nice and really supportive and helpful because he's like, "What's your location?" And he's like, "I'm on the bridge." He's like, "No, like your coordinates." And he's like, "I don't know. Where do I get that information?" The guy's like, Who am I talking to here? What's your rank?" And he's like, I'm the guitarist.
I'm a Scorpio. I don't know.
Yeah. He explains that like the captain's fucked off. And so Captain Detmar was helpful. So because the captain, who I haven't even mentioned, his name was Giannis Avranis.
Oh, that's a great name.
It is pretty
I
good.
love a rhyming name.
He was refusing to come back to the bridge. Moss was running back and forth across the steep, slippery, dark deck to ask the captain questions that Moss was, of course, not qualified to answer, so he could relay the information on to rescuers.
Just come to the bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Giannis.
I would have dragged him.
Yeah.
Dragged him back up to the bridge.
Yeah.
Get up here.
I would have told the mob, which is what they would become if you tell the truth here. This is the captain cowering over here.
Yeah.
Let's get him to the bridge. He's got questions to answer. I reckon that would have made things better.
I reckon.
Yeah.
A mob.
Handed out some pitchforks.
Yeah.
Get him.
Yeah, they'd either get him up onto the bridge or beat him to death.
Yeah. Which would you prefer, Giannis?
What's it going to be?
The ball's in your court.
So other ships couldn't get too close to the Oceanus because of the harsh conditions. So the other captain was asking...
Wait, sorry, Jess. Just quickly, what's his full name again?
Giannis Avranis.
Giannis Avranis of the Oceanus.
Yeah.
That's sick.
That is
That is
pretty good.
so good.
That is good.
That's how he got the job.
That's
he
my
doesn't
favourite
know how
Dr.
to
Seuss
captain. He doesn't know how to captain a ship. They're just like, your name rhymes with our name. You got the job.
You're hired.
You're hired, gorgeous.
All right, gorgeous.
All right, gorgeous.
All aboard. You're hired.
All aboard, gorgeous. That's gross.
All aboard, gorgeous.
All aboard, gorgeous. Want a job, gorgeous? You're hired. All
all yours, gorgeous.
All yours, gorgeous. Right this way, sweetheart.
That's very stupid.
You right, darling? Want a job, darling? All right. All aboard, gorgeous. You're hired.
That bridge over there, all yours, gorgeous.
All yours, gorgeous. This feels like one of those episodes where I'm like, at least we're having fun.
Yeah.
I'm like, the listeners, they go, what are
What
they
are you
on?
laughing
Yeah,
about?
we're just having a really nice time chuckling. Just looking at each other and chuckling.
It's fun. It's fun to listen to. It's contagious.
Hopefully it is, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's loving it.
Hopefully all the listeners are also wild-eyed and wet.
Yeah.
If this hasn't got you wild-eyed and wet, I think,
See a doctor.
you can see a doctor.
Yeah, the
Something's
ship
not right
sailed
with
for you. Yes.
So yeah, the other ships can't get very close. So the other captain, Captain Detmar, was asking for an indication of how long the ship had before it was submerged. He's like, "How long have you got? Like, what's our window here?" So of course, Moss has to run back to Captain Avranis and be like, "What do you reckon?" And he said 2 hours, maybe 3.
Why isn't he going to the bridge? This is the most baffling thing of all.
He said, I reckon we've got 15 to 17 ciggies.
Yeah. Do with that what you will.
Yeah, I got a couple of decks left. I reckon, once I've got through these, we're done.
Then we'll call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call it.
So this is about 4 a.m.
Wow.
They got 2-3 hours left.
4 a.m. I'm hearing pitch black.
Pitch black, pretty dark. Around 6:30 a.m., rescue choppers arrived. Navy divers were winced down to the deck and said that the ship was sinking faster now and they'd need to hurry and get everyone off the ship. They said they needed help to get everyone off before the ship sank, and Moss was given a 5-minute crash course on how to run a helicopter airlift. Because obviously
Moss is up for it though. Like if anyone
He's
can
up
do
for
it,
it.
Moss can do it. Do you know? I'm surprised Moss even needed the 5-minute crash
Yeah,
course.
he was like, refresh my memory. Of course I know how to do it, but
He's like, I actually invented the helicopter
Yeah.
rescue, but refresh my memory.
refresh my memory. Go on, mansplain to me.
I've been under pressure for the last 10 hours, so please refresh my memory.
Let's fucking go.
If you could sing it to me in the style of Xavier Rudd, that would be helpful.
Yeah,
it's the only
It's how my memory works.
Yeah, anything sort of acoustic.
It's the only way I learn.
John Mayer, can you John Mayer it to me?
Or just as he's saying it, if you could just tap on a tambourine, that would really
That
help
would be
me commit it
helpful.
to memory.
What key are these instructions going to be in?
C sharp. So the helicopters, they obviously can't land on the ship. So yeah, it's going to be lowering down harnesses, 2 people at a time, lifting them up.
Oh, 2 at a time, and
Two at a
there's
time.
200 and something.
Yep.
That's
Whoa.
100 trips if my math serves me correctly.
Oh my God, you are filling in Dave's role very nicely.
Yeah, so quick.
You're out, Dave. I'm in. The trial has gone very well.
There's a new mathematician in town.
So they decided to set up a helicopter rescue station at each end of the ship, splitting the passengers in half so that each station had about 110 people they needed to get off the ship. In total, about...
Get off.
In total, about 5 helicopters joined the rescue mission, shuttling back and forth. They could carry 12 people at a time. And this is all happening as dawn breaks as well. So they've been... It's nearly 12 hours. It's like 10 hours that this has been going on for them.
That's way too many hours.
It's too many hours. So a Navy diver and Lorraine are set up on one side and Moss and Tracy are set up on the other side. And how they sort of did it was Tracy organised the passengers so that the remaining women were first and then the oldest men first and then the youngest and fittest were last. And then on Moss's signal, she would send passengers out to him 2 at a time. Because remember, like the boat's still rocking like crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, Moss has like tied some rope around himself and to a railing to keep himself in place.
Wow.
And then 2 at a time, he gets them out, puts it on. It's really full on.
That is hectic.
The helicopter harness was a double unit, and this became the routine for the next 5 hours.
Whoa.
As you're going down. Wow.
Just like every passing minute would
Yeah.
just get more and more stressful.
Yeah.
Because you get like it's 12 people, then that chopper has to go. Another one comes. Just waiting.
But then every time you're getting 12 people off,
Yeah.
that's the slightly lighter weight. Maybe this ship's starting to come up again.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, those few 100 kilos
Yeah.
would make a real big difference.
Yeah, I
like,
think it could.
I reckon by the time they only had like 20 people left on the deck, the ship would just be fully restored to its previous splendor.
Probably even floating in the air.
It's too light now.
They actually winched the remaining passengers on the ship
Yeah.
back to land.
Pretty cool. They were like, hey guys, while we fly this ship back, feel free to just wander around. Check
Yeah.
out the captain's quarters or something. Like,
Yeah,
you just
bit
have a
of
little
fun.
treat.
And Moss has found his ukulele.
Baby, coming down to the riptide.
Do you think... I'm not so sure about this women first, then old men,
Here we
then the
fucking go.
fittest men? Surely the fittest men go first. Who is it most important to get back to society? The fit men. Don't you
Oh,
think?
Matt.
Or the old men.
Oh, the old men? Really? What do they do?
Okay, so they should have quizzed everyone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They should have had the presence of mind to have quizzed everyone. And if the old men are racist or sexist or like homophobic or whatever, they're out.
Get rid of them.
They're out onto
Yeah.
the helicopter? 'Cause
No.
There's
They've got
positions
to
of
wait
power
until the
back
end.
home.
They've got to wait until the end.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But everybody
Oh, you're going to
gets
make
quizzed, but I'm
moral
just saying
judgments, are you,
statistically-
Kirsty?
Yes, that's
So
what
you're
I'm
gonna
saying.
say, oh, so these men who are racist and bigots don't deserve to live as much as everyone else? That
Yes.
sounds a little bigoted. You're last, Kirsty. Bang. You fell for my trap. Well done.
Let me on!
He's honestly got some weird opinions.
Help!
And to be honest, we were already going through the most useful occupations, and you were a fair way down the list, I'm afraid.
Well, it's interesting that Matt is having me get onto the rescue chopper last, because it actually reeks of homophobia.
Oh no, we switched back.
You guys are like, you're last and second last.
Neck and neck for last. And 2 people go at a time.
So it
but we're
doesn't fucking
fighting so
matter.
hard.
We've killed each other by the time we get to land.
And everyone's like, well,
They've got to pry our limp, lifeless hands from around each other's throats.
The final decider is Twitter followers. So, all right, you edged me out on this one, Kirsty. Fine.
Twitter followers.
Twitter followers.
I go, no, you're right. That is fair. That is the only fair way to do it.
I'm getting on the rescue chopper first, Matt. I've got more Twitter followers.
Society wants me more.
Please don't look at Instagram. Definitely don't pry into my TikTok account.
I think we should wait TikTok heavier. I'm crunching the numbers quickly.
Twitter doesn't feel as relevant these days. You two are both going down the ship. So, meanwhile, Julian, one of the other entertainers and a Navy diver, then got into the last inflatable dinghy so that they would be in the water close to the ship in case they dropped any passengers into the sea.
Whoa.
So you've got rescue operations happening on either side, and then you've got a Navy diver and Julian, who's a magician, hanging about.
Hanging
Yeah.
who
about.
hasn't been able to make the floodwaters.
I'm starting to think he's an
Disappear?
illusionist. And the illusion is that he's magic.
I think he's a bit of a delusionist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what's just disappeared? Your credibility, mate.
Yeah. But he is doing something quite brave.
Make that reappear, I dare
He's doing
you.
something quite brave.
Yeah, no, he sounds like a
no,
legend.
we understand that, Jess.
They saved a few people, actually.
Hey, we're not taking that away from him, but
His magic
he
is
didn't
bullshit.
He didn't make the storm disappear.
Made the song disappear. That's so funny. As the other rescue station on the other side finished getting everyone off the ship, Lorraine and the people helping her joined Julian in the dinghy. So it was essentially like all that was left to get the rest of the crew off the ship was this little rubber dinghy.
So that because I was assuming there were no more vessels at all.
But it was, yeah,
But
like-
there was one last very backup plan rubber dinghy.
Yeah.
That I guess they were thinking wouldn't last that long,
And
and
it-
obviously
and it
couldn't
won't.
get 200 and something
Exactly right.
people on it.
So this is from Moss again. With the deck so steep and the ship rolling about, at least 10 or 12 passengers slipped and fell as I tried to attach the harness to them. Each time I would slide down the deck with the rope around my waist and pull them up.
Oh my gosh,
Because it's so steep.
Moss is such a hero.
Moss is insane.
One of the great badasses we've ever talked about on the show.
I
reckon.
love this guy. And this is almost, I think this might be my favourite part because it's very funny.
Well, I'm already starting to fancy him, so
He's pretty great.
Is this the bit on the Titanic where it goes really vertical and someone falls and goes ding?
Which everybody finds funny. But
Yeah,
but it's actually
it is-
really sad.
But it's
so
pretty
sad.
funny.
but it is.
It's
Pretty.
really like it. Okay.
See, it's pretty funny.
No, Jess is giving me the worst look.
You're like, no, but I'm like, nah, shut up. It's funny.
That was like proper year 8 science teacher disappointed
Yeah.
in me vibes
Kirsty,
then.
come on.
You were like, I know that what you're about to say is rubbish. You were like, do you really need to say it?
Kirsty?
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
go on. All right, no, go on.
All
then.
right, all I wanted to say
You've got the
is
class's attention.
Share it with everybody, please.
how funny would you find it if you were the one falling off?
I wouldn't find it particularly funny. Probably
That's
because
all I
my,
wanted to say.
my spine would snap and I'd
Yeah.
be instantly dead.
Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. So maybe
Yeah.
just have a think like that
Yeah.
next time before you start
That's
chuckling
true.
away.
That
Laugh
is
it
true.
up right into your grave. Your wet grave.
Your wild-eyed and wet grave.
I guess the ocean is a wet grave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Davy
Doesn't get
Jones's
much
locker.
wetter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the wettest of graves.
It's
Yeah.
the wettest. So sorry. Anyway, what were you saying
This is my-
before I
this
gave
is-
you a lecture in not being a piece of shit?
Actually, Jess, water isn't wet. What it touches is wet.
Well, you're insufferable.
Anyway, I had a fun bit to share with you, but now I'm not sure that I want to.
No, please do. Please
No,
do.
I don't know. I don't
Please
know that I
do,
want to.
gorgeous.
Okay. Oh, go on, gorgeous. Lost our fucking minds. So this is a little bit of classic Moss. This will make you love him and Tracy. So he says, at one point I was trying to catch the swinging harness being lowered and it snagged on the side of the ship. There was immediate danger of the rolling ship and high winds causing the line to jerk tight and pull the chopper down. before the winch operator could free it. Without really thinking, I jumped over the railing and hung across the side of the ship to free the harness. I then crawled quickly back. It was over in a flash. However, the real danger now came. My wife saw what I had done and ran across the deck to yell at me.
The real danger came.
He just jumped off a boat to release the winch so it didn't bring a chopper down with it. Climbed back over and then he's like, whew, oh no, I'm in trouble. Here comes
now I've done
Tracy.
it.
She looks mad.
I read her account as well and she was like, I saw red.
Oh, really? She
Yeah.
wasn't. But was it a good thing or a bad thing?
It was a good thing what he'd done. And she later, like, she was
Right.
like,
Yeah,
"You
but she
totally,
loves him.
Yeah.
So she's
She was
like, you
what
could have
the
been
fuck
He was
are you
putting
doing?
himself in danger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, if something happens to you, we're all fucked because you're the one helping, But it was
Yeah,
also
yeah.
just, she just cared. It was like, don't do something so stupid.
Yeah, I reckon she
Right.
was just sad because she loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, so do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
I'd be livid if I thought that Moss was putting himself in harm's way.
If they're up for it, I would do a 3-way twist with them. 3-way twirl.
Matt, I can say with great authority, they are not up.
And stop calling.
There was a few things in that little. I know you wanted to say it, so I didn't interrupt. But there was a jerk.
Yep.
There was swinging harness, which also felt a bit sex dungeony.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, he's going back. He's doing a list.
Yeah.
I just know there's people at home yelling at their iPods, going, "Why didn't he mention?"
Yeah.
The
They missed it. They just missed the horniest section of the whole
Yeah.
show. Listeners, we did not miss it.
No, we did not miss
We
it.
were being oddly respectful.
For
Yeah.
once. So it's pretty, it's just, I just found that kind of funny. That it was
Yeah,
like the
that
real
is fun.
danger was my wife.
My
Yeah.
wife.
But
It's also good to remember that is always the biggest danger.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, apart
Yeah.
from the mother-in-law.
If you do something,
Am I right?
if you do something dangerous, I'll kill you.
It did
That's
have.
me.
It had a slight '90s vibe to me.
Yeah.
Just be like the real danger.
Yeah.
My wife.
No, I'm
Yeah,
in
the
trouble.
old ball and chain.
Take my wife. No, really.
But she wrote later. She's like, what he did was totally the right thing, and he saved the day. But I was just for a flash. She was like, "What the fuck?" You're a guitarist. You don't jump off ships. Eventually, we were almost finished. This is Moss still. When the helicopter crew signalled me to count up how many were left. There were 12 male passengers, Robin in the bridge, myself, and Tracy, the only female left. That made a total of 15. The chopper signalled to hold on and then left. So they've just coordinated an entire rescue operation with zero experience, and now they're the last ones left on the ship, and they're just stuck waiting.
Right. So there's two, and two more choppers would do it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you've also got the people in the dinghy.
Right.
So the dinghy's not going to make it all the way back, but the chopper will winch them up as well. So a couple more choppers will come back. But after about 45 minutes, the chopper returned. 45 minutes they were there waiting.
Oh my god.
But it couldn't pick them up from where they were, so they had to slip and climb carefully to the other side,
Whoa.
which was really hard and very scary. And they finally made it to the rear deck. Finally, the last of the passengers were off, and it was their turn. They were hoisted into a helicopter, and it was all over.
Holy shit! Did everyone survive?
Yes.
Holy fuck! That's so good.
That
500,
is so good.
581
Wow.
people on board.
Wow! That's
Literally
amazing.
thanks to Moss,
Yeah.
Holy
the
shit!
guitarist.
Yeah.
And no thanks to the captain or the magicians who didn't make the floodwaters recede.
Okay, you helped some people onto a helicopter. Could have helped
Yeah.
a little sooner, okay?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the whole crew. I'm seeing
I hate
criminal
the crew.
charges coming.
Correct.
Criminal charges.
Criminal. Oh my god.
Got him.
Oh my god. Whoa.
That's good.
Whoa. Holy shit. Oh my god.
That is good stuff.
Wow. Criminal charges. I don't know what to do with that. That is something.
Okay, there must be a gas leak in here or something.
Criminal. That is holy fucking hell. Whoa. You are filling Dave's role so well. He is the pun master, and I don't think I've ever seen a pun mastered quite so hard.
Yeah.
That pun was your bitch. That's a Herald Sun headline. You know,
Yeah, criminal charges.
criminal charges.
You guys take your time.
I'm so sorry. I'm dizzy.
Now you get it.
Yeah.
Now I get it.
It's
So-
easy. It's easy to get dizzy.
It's easy to get dizzy. Oh.
So the Oceanus, the ship, sank approximately 45 minutes after the last person was airlifted from the deck, which is a little
That's
too
tight.
close, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
that's
is
one
really
more
tight.
trip.
Yeah.
In shipwreck terms, that is too tight.
That is too
Wow.
tight. So they were really lucky. And yes, 581 people on board, all were rescued, not a single death,
Wow.
which is
Wow.
amazing. Captain Avranus claimed that he left the ship first in order to arrange for a rescue effort
Oh my gosh.
and then supervised it from a helicopter.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god, that's so,
good.
embarrassing.
What do you mean?
That's so
I left to
embarrassing.
get help.
Here I was,
He's like gaslighting them.
But didn't he
I
not
was-
leave first anyway?
No, he didn't. But he left the ship. Like he wasn't last.
Yeah.
You know, which
Wow.
He's like, oh well, I had to get to the police station.
so
I trust you'll understand.
you get it.
Sorry. I just remembered I got an appointment.
Oh, was that today? I
Oh
have to
no!
go.
Oh, normally I would definitely hang around. I love this sort of scenario. This is where my best comes out. But
Oh, what a day.
what a day for it to happen!
Just
this
the
is
timing.
such a shame.
So according to the International Herald Tribune, Avranus said he had known when he left the ship that there were 170 passengers and crew still aboard. But this was the only way to ensure the safety of all those aboard, him leaving. Furthermore, after checking the situation from the shore, he said he flew back to the ship on a helicopter, intending to go back on board. But the weather was so bad that the helicopter crew had advised against boarding. I
Yeah,
wanted to,
well,
but the
yeah.
helicopter guy was like, nah, you can't.
Yeah, and also like the ship was in pretty bad.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
wet.
Like the ship was like, it looked really bad. Like,
Yeah, it did.
It didn't look very safe.
Yeah.
So the helicopter guy was like, nah,
No,
that
helicopter-
ship doesn't look great.
And I was like, no, but like I have to go. Yeah, I have to be a hero. I'm
Yeah.
going. And he
Yeah,
was
I
like,
really wanna help
nah,
everyone.
bro, I'm
And
flying
yeah.
away.
No, I
And it
wanna
was
preserve life.
And my girlfriend, who I made out with, she was going to be here too, but she is at a school at a different.
She's in Canada. She's real.
Country.
Yeah, no,
'Cause,
she's
yeah,
real.
she actually
Yeah.
is really hot, and no, I don't have
Yeah.
a photo right now because she actually is sensitive to the light, so she can't
Yeah.
do flash
In-
photography.
Insatiable sexual appetite.
Oh,
She is.
She's- yeah,
oh my
she's
god, a
ravenous.
wild
Apparent-
cat.
hard to keep
Apparently
up.
she's just got a regular libido, but when she sees me, just this animal instinct kicks in and
Yeah.
yeah, just Anyway, sorry to get off track, but insatiable sexual appetite.
She
but
loves
also,
my big dick. But
Yeah.
anyway, sorry.
Sorry,
She
I was
said
talking
normally
about
too
this
big,
ship.
but yeah, somehow it's just the perfect bigness. So yeah,
Sorry, I was talking about the rescue. Sorry.
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 Yeah.
It's just like both long and thick. But
Sorry.
what
sorry.
are you talking about?
Anyway, I was trying to get back onto the ship.
This is a great quote from him. He was quoted in the New York Times as saying, "When I give the order, abandon ship, it doesn't matter what time I leave. Abandonment is for everybody. If some people want to stay, they can stay.
That's incredible.
Abandon
Yeah.
ship, that's your choice. It's
I-
an option.
I would like a T-shirt with "Abandonment is for everybody."
Yeah, isn't that good? Abandonment's for everybody. Captain included, I get to abandon
It's
ship.
for everyone.
And
Hello.
but he never said abandon ship.
No,
and
he
when
didn't.
people asked, they were like, "No, nothing's wrong. Nothing's
Yeah.
wrong."
Oh, that's
But
true.
how
No,
come the
he did
ships-
say abandon ship, but not like he didn't put that on the PA or make it clear to any passengers.
He
Yeah, he
did,
just said it to
he
the crew.
opened up the cupboard like in the bridge.
And went-
He opened up the cupboard and went "Abandon ship."
Yeah.
Well,
And
I've announced it.
He did say it.
Oh, it doesn't
he
seem like
definitely
they're
said it.
going.
He never said that he publicly said it. He never said he said it to anybody else.
That's true.
He said it in his mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine.
I think that's all right.
Yeah.
Like, why is
okay.
he under the microscope for that?
I think he seems cool.
Yeah. Having thoughts is the same as saying stuff anyway. I reckon.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
reckon too.
It's, yeah.
It's as good as,
It's exactly the same thing.
if not better.
What's the difference?
There's no
yeah.
difference.
This is great as well. According to Robin Boltman, one of the entertainers, who had stayed on the bridge and assisted with the rescue, said, later in the morning, Captain Avranus even contacted me from shore to ask how things were going.
Yeah, I don't know how, but I could hear that he was drinking a martini.
I could hear steel drums and cocktail shakers in the background.
I could hear him having a mojito. I could hear the little umbrella in his drink.
And those knots in his shoulders were really being worked out by someone else's hands.
Yes. He was relaxing with every stroke.
Wow.
Hooah.
Thanks for that stroke, gorgeous.
Oh, stop it. It's not funny when you do it. It's gross.
Sorry, gorgeous.
Oh.
Just a little bit of vomit.
The wedding only had a tiny bit of vomit. Let's not go on about it.
Matt's English accent only induced a little bit of vomit.
Just a little.
You've got to expect some vomit at weddings and podcasts.
You go expect a little bit of vomit, gorgeous. Oh, there it is. In her mouth and swallowed.
Oh.
Reached my limit with you. Okay, that's enough.
Now we're both in trouble, Kirsty.
Kirsty's not in trouble.
How come you roped me in with you?
You were before. I didn't realise you were out of trouble again.
I've come good.
Come good.
Back in the good books.
Yeah.
I'll sit in the naughty corner.
Yeah. Matt, you guessed at this before. In 1992, the captain and 5 other officers were convicted of negligence by a Greek Board of Inquiry for fleeing the ship without helping the passengers. But he was never incarcerated, and I'm pretty sure he remained a captain for the rest of his career.
Oh, my God.
Imagine getting on his ship.
Imagine hiring him.
I know. Imagine being like the crew under him. You'd be like, this fucker guy. Well, it seems like a lot of them bailed too, so maybe they'd be like, yeah, he if
So what would if you were reporting on that in a newspaper, that story, what would you headline it, Kirsty? Story like that.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
attention.
something along the lines of criminal charges have been laid.
That is good.
no incarceration.
If you don't get a call from the Herald Sun this week, I will be very surprised.
Yeah. Do you think this is my big break?
Yeah, I think this could be.
Yeah.
Sub-editor?
Yeah.
Is that who does the headlines?
I'm excited. I'd love that job.
Oh, you'd be a great subby.
You'd be great at it.
Yeah. Like, as long as I'm mostly in charge of, like, nautical.
Yeah.
Like,
well, obviously, with your experience and background,
Yeah.
you'd be the nautical sub-editor.
Naughty nautical.
With that killer pun
And I think
about criminal charges.
I think they'd still allow you to do your 2 gigs a year as well. I think that's the
That'd be
flexibility
good.
that a sub-editor can.
Well, that's
can
the
expect.
flexibility that I'm looking for. So
Yeah.
that works out very well for me. So yeah, just nautical stuff most, like nautical crimes.
Yeah.
That would be my wheelhouse.
So you've
I
got
think.
one pun.
And you're non...
Yeah, I've got one pun to wheel out fortnightly.
Your nom de plume would be Naughty Gal. Naughty Gal, the nautical subby.
Nope. Nope, absolutely not.
No, I'm pretty sure.
So a lot of what I've read from Moss today is from his website, where he published his official statement of the events, which he wrote less than a month after the event. So the memories are still pretty fresh for him. And one of the most heart-wrenching parts was this. He said, when Tracy and I were alone on the bridge, we discussed what to do when the ship actually went under. We'd stick together and tie some extra life jackets together and make something to cling to. We said over and over that we were glad that our 15-year-old daughter Amber and her 14-year-old cousin Shane had got off in Durban a few days before.
Oh.
If they'd been aboard, we may have acted very differently.
Of course, yeah.
But they were just, and that was another reason why Tracy was mad at him for doing something dangerous. She was like, you're a father, like you can't. Both parents are coming home.
Didn't you do it to save lives?
Yeah. But it was just in the moment. She was she was
annoyed.
protective. It was
I
get that.
Yeah, she was like, I don't want to do school drop off
and pick up.
and pick up.
Pick kids at boarding school. She's like, oh God, twice a year I've got to drop her off. You don't make me do that alone. That's so funny. Fuck, I've got to make lunches. Oh, Moss. You bastard.
She's going to start going out with her friends soon. I'll be dropping her off in town.
Then I got to pick her up at 4 a.m. Some team.
You're not much use in Davy Jones's locker, are you, Moss?
He finishes by writing, "My constant worry was that I had secured the harness incorrectly around passengers. Before Gary left me alone, he said to make sure the harness strap was high under the arms and not low in the back. If it was too low, then the force of the chopper could break or damage the spine."
Oh, no pressure.
I know. This, coupled with the fact that so many passengers slipped and fell and others struck the railing as they were hoisted aloft, made me worried about the injury rate of the people I was rescuing. When our chopper finally landed and people swarmed around to thank us, I saw that everyone looked okay and I was overcome with emotion.
Good news.
Then I really felt like it was over, and I just hoped that everybody was off and my friends and fellow staff who had been on board were safe, because they don't even know that they've got everybody off.
Yeah.
Got everybody off.
But they had. Isn't that crazy?
This episode is like a carry-on film. Carry on the cruise. Ooh. Ooh, got off. Ooh.
Is this why we need Dave? No, he's pretty silly. He's into the innuendo. Back on dry land, Moss was put on a drip because he was severely dehydrated. Remember that they'd played until dawn the day before, and he just stayed up the whole time, and just the adrenaline coursing through. So he was just completely exhausted. So they put him on a drip, but he was fine. Everyone was okay. According to an article on the BBC, Moss and Tracy, who now live in Liverpool, continued working as cruise ship entertainers for many years. Even now, 3 decades later, Tracy prefers not to talk about the sinking or dwell on how close they all came to losing their lives. But Moss, who's been asked about the Oceanus many, many times, finds it cathartic to talk about. He looks back on what happened with great relief. "I'm not invincible," Moss says, "but if I can get through that, I can get through anything." And according to the website oceanussinking.com, which looks like it's his website, Tracy is a jewellery designer now, and Moss still works on ships, and he is now a cruise director.
Oh, wow. That's
So you'd feel pretty comfortable being on his ship,
great. Yeah, I was going to say quite the opposite of
100%.
the captain.
Yeah.
You'd be stoked to have him on board.
Totally.
And I forgot to mention at the very start, this was suggested by Heidi Douglas from Brisbane. And I don't have it with me right in front of me, but the way that Heidi sold the story was like a group of musicians save a sinking ship. And I was like,
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
So a great pitch there, Heidi, and thank you for suggesting it.
Heidi, I am so sorry about what we did to the episode.
I know you wanted a compelling story, but we mostly talked about sex stuff. But yeah, that's the story of the sinking of the MTS Oceanus.
Fabulous story and well told. I'm so stoked that it ended up with a happy ending.
Yeah.
I know.
Happy ending.
I know.
Jeez Louise.
I don't think I could have done it if it was like, and everyone died.
Yeah. Well, it would have also just made that episode in remarkably poor taste.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's happened in the past.
It has.
We don't know where a story's going.
Yeah.
Jess and I are going off on some...
It's quite recently we were having a great time fucking about, and it ended up being a massacre episode, and we did not know. But people listening see the title of the topic.
Yes.
So they know a lot of people are about to get killed, and we're just like, la, 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 a bit too light. But, yeah, this one was safe to have some fun because everyone's okay.
Yeah.
So it's
You're
fine.
real risk takers, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really rolling the dice.
We're the bad boys of podcasting.
Thanks so much for joining us this week, Kirsty.
It was my pleasure. I had such a fun time.
If people wanted to, and I'm not promising they do, but if they want, if they did want to find you, where could they find you?
They absolutely do want to find me.
Yeah.
So my address is...
I do that every week. Where can people find you? At my house. 17.
Yes, go on.
My website has my upcoming live shows mailing list on it, kirstywebeck.com. I am on every social media platform. I even joined TikTok recently.
Mm-hmm.
That one could really use a little boost, please, listeners. Get around my TikTok. Kirsty Webeck on every platform. I'm really fun to hang out with online.
So fun. And in person, if I can be so bold.
Hey, you too. I had a really fun time. Thank you so much for having me.
Next time we'll do it on Zoom and I'll turn my camera off.
Dave, I'm so sorry for stealing a gig, but you won't be needed anymore.
Yeah. Sorry, gorgeous. Thanks so much, Kirsty.
Thanks, legends.
And that brings us to everyone's favourite part of the show, the fact, quote, or question. And yes, it's Jess here, alone again, to do this special part of the show. Look, that episode went for like 2 hours. We'd recorded another 3-hour episode earlier that day. So, we didn't have a lot of steam left in the tank. Do you put steam in a tank? Anyway, there was nothing left for us to do these Patreons. Matt said, hey, should we do it? And I said, nah, do it later. And now is later. So a pleasure to be here with you. As you know, if you've joined us before on Do Go On, this is the part of the show where we get to thank a bunch of people who support us over on patreon.com/DoGoOnPod or at dogoonpod.com. You can also support us there as well. So, without further ado, it's essentially just me saying, shut up, Jess. First and foremost, what we like to do is a little section called Fact, Quote, or Question, and it has a jingle that goes a little something like this. Fact, quote, or question, ding! I always remember the ding. And in this section of the show, people who support us on the Sydney Scheinberg Deluxe Memorial Rest in Peace level get to submit a fact, a quote, a question. It can be a brag. It can be a suggestion. It can be a recipe. It can be anything you want it to be. This is open for you. And our first fact, quote, or question comes from Dan Marshall. Dan has given themselves the title of Tonight's Guest, which I love that, Dan. Very fun energy there. And Dan has given us a fact. Dan says, hi crew, my fact is related to the wonderful Peking to Paris report, in particular the Motori Contal motorcycle, tricycle / car. If I said that wrong, it's because I wasn't on that episode. So you can't be mad at me. Although I don't know if it's come out yet or not, but you might hear a little bit more about that story very, very soon. A little bit of sizzle there for you. Back to Dan's fact. The front seat for the Navigator was so dangerous the Contal factory gave it a special name, Le Tout Belle Mère, which means the kill your mother-in-law seat. That is bleak. And Dan says, as a less grim fact, my old boss actually did the 2007 Peking to Paris in a 1951 Riley. Cool, which by chance is also the same car my uncle bought and completed a ground-up restoration on during the Melbourne lockdowns. That's very cool. Your old boss, 2007. Wow. Still doing it there? Crazy. That's very cool, Dan. Thank you so much for that fact. Our next fact, quote, or question comes from Eleanor Lacey Sloan. And Eleanor's given themselves the title, Director of Hopefully Feeling Better Soon. Oh, okay. Does that hint at what Eleanor's fact, quote, or question is going to be about? Let's find out. Eleanor has given us a question. It says, hi guys, my boyfriend and I recently broke up and I'm really down about it. Oh, Eleanor, it does seem like your title was foreshadowing. I found that listening to old episodes of Do Go On really helps by distracting me and making me laugh, so thank you for that. My question is, what else do you suggest to help me get over it / feel better? Sorry to use fact, quote, or question as free therapy. Never apologise for using it as free therapy. It's not free. You are a contributor to our Patreon, and we appreciate you. Getting over a breakup, let me tell you. Laughter, good call, yes. Distraction, focus on you. It's all the wanky cliche shit, but it's true. Spend more time with your friends, keep yourself really busy, and unfortunately, the best remedy for it is just time. It will get easier every day. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it's getting easier every day, but it will. And try new things. Try stuff that you haven't given yourself the space to explore. And don't get your head out of the gutter if you chuckled at that, you child. No, but like, try new things and go to new places, and, you can do the classic drastic haircut or a new outfit. Do all that stuff. Spend a lot more time with your friends, and they will distract you and make you feel better. And I'm sorry, but he's probably a dick. He might have been nice. I don't know. However you feel, I feel that as well. So if you're like, right person, wrong time, then I'm there with you. If you're like, he's a piece of shit, then I fucking hate that guy and I'll kill him. So whatever your feelings are, I'm mirroring that to you. Our next fact quote question comes from Colin Wright. Colin's given himself the title Senior Inspector of Honesty in all landlady/tenant interactions. Oh my God. It killed me in that episode. How many times lying to a landlady really let Ethel down? Ethel? Whatever. Colin's given us a fact. Colin says, I'm always fascinated to find out the people I assumed died forever ago were actually alive surprisingly recently. For example, my distant relative Orville Wright, one of the Wright brothers who helped invent heavier than air flight. So you're saying your distant relative is Orville Wright, one of the Wright brothers. Are you not then related to both? Anyway, maybe you'll explain. And Neil, first man on the moon, Armstrong, were alive at the same time for 18 years. Armstrong was born in 1930, and Orville Wright didn't come to an end, as all good things must, until 1948. You might have mentioned that fact in either your Apollo 11 episode or your episode on the Wright brothers, but I thought it was really interesting, and pending Jess's approval, maybe even a little fun. So the thing that is fascinating to you is that some people that are quite famous in history were alive not that long ago. I get that. I've also just realised again that your surname is Wright. But yeah, how are you related to one of them? I understand, like, maybe like a great-grandfather or an uncle or something, but like the other one's right there, you're basically related to both. I'm going to call that. That's very cool. I honestly don't know if that's a fun fact. Nah, I'll say it's a fun fact. Good stuff. And finally, for fact quote question, Sophie Shooter has given herself the title Group Mum. If you want pudding, you need to finish your veggies. I love that, Sophie. And we love your Group Mum energy. You love to organise the Patreons into all sorts of fun and wonderful things. So thank you. And Sophie has gone for a brag, but says, actually, I'm starting a new heading, confession. I work in a kitchen of a supermarket feeding the staff. I'm often asked to make a cake for a special occasion, but my days are already busy, so I use box mixers a lot of the time. Just mix it up with some eggs, milk, and oil and whack it in the oven. It's so much quicker. Yeah, 100%. In my defense, I decorate all the cakes as well as I can, but I do feel bad when people compliment me on the sponge. Nah, don't feel bad about that. You absolutely should not feel bad about that. It is outside of your job description. You are busy. You got a lot on. Cooking, especially like cooking in bulk like that, very time consuming. So then you're just adding a cake willy-nilly? Of course. I mean, why did they invent packet mixers if not for convenience? And that's exactly what you need in this instance, Sophie. So you don't have to feel bad about that. And you're decorating them. That's the impressive part. Sometimes when you have like really fancy looking cake, the cake itself is a bit shit. So what's more important is the cake is edible and delicious, and then cherry on top, you've decorated and made it pretty. Nah, you're absolutely nailing it. Don't even think about feeling guilty about that. And thank you for your confession. This is a safe place. And similar to Eleanor, I've gone too hard, I think, and I've just immediately gone a bit nuts in supporting you. So thank you, Sophie, and also thank you to Colin, Eleanor, and Dan. Now, the next thing we like to do is shout out to a bunch of people who support us over on patreon.com. And yeah, one of the benefits you can get, what do you do with a benefit? Is we will read out your name and thank you, and we like to play a little bit of a game with this one. I was thinking, because we had a few pretty wild riffs through there, But what I was thinking we could do is what song you would play on a guitar at a house party. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up acoustic or acoustic chill, acoustic hits. I'm looking up playlists on Spotify. Let's go acoustic hits. Yeah, okay, there's enough in here. I'm going to go for acoustic hits. It's a Spotify playlist, so you know it's good. It's got 3.7 million likes. That's bonkers. Anyway, so I'll be assigning you a song that there's a guitar at a house party. We're all at a house party together. There's a guitar there, and one by one you're going, oh, is a guitar? Oh, I might play a little ditty, and but not in an insufferable way. Like everybody's loving it. They're loving having a sing along. So without further ado, first and foremost, I would love to thank from deep within the Fortress of the Moles. That's right, location unknown. I would love to thank Peter McWhirter. Oh, that's good. Peter McWhirter? McWhirter. Oh, shit, that's good stuff. All right, well, Peter's up first and straight away taken one of the big ones. So a few other people at the party groaned because they were like, oh, that's what I was going to do. But Peter has pulled out Home by Edward Sharpe and the Magnetic Zeros. And it's probably a good one to start with because good sing-along ability. You know what I mean? Like everybody else is like, yes, and they're jumping in there, they're doing the chorus, and yeah, I think you've nailed that, Peter. So thank you not only for your support and for listening, but also for your acoustic hit. I would also love to thank from Vancouver in Canada, Neil McLean. Oh, another good name. What is it with you people and you fantastic names? Neil McLean's come in, landslide. Dixie Chicks, or now just the Chicks, and bloody brings the house down. It's a real good one. Again, good sing-song ability, sing-along ability. So loving that. Thank you so much, Neil. From Colorado Springs in the US. That is my boyfriend's work phone ringing. It's going to ring for a while. I'm just going to go decline that. And put it on silent. Will I edit any of that out? Absolutely not. From Colorado Springs in the US, I would love to thank Aiden Luter. Oh, Aiden Luter, that's good. Aiden has gone for George Ezra, Budapest. A fun song. And again, I would argue, pretty fun to sing along to, if you're me and you like that song. So thank you, Aiden. A great energy you're bringing to the party. From Lewisham in the ACT, Canberra, Australia, I would love to thank Rebecca warns. Rebecca warns you not to take her song, which is Better Together by Jack Johnson. Nobody does it better than Rebecca, so she's like, don't even fucking think about it, I'll kill you. That's my song, and everybody at this party knows it. Sorry to bring the tone down, but I'm sick of people stealing my song. And some people at the party are like, God, this Rebecca, I don't know her that well, and this energy is crazy. And then Rebecca sings Better Together by Jack Johnson, and everyone's like, I get it. And I support it. So thank you, Rebecca Warnes. From Noble Park in Victoria, I would love to thank Rochelle. Great name. Beautiful. It's got some nice sounds in it. I like the shell part. Ugh, beautiful. And Rochelle coming in, just scrolling down a little bit. Of course. Ho Hey from the Lumineers. Another one very easy to sing along to. If there's a ukulele at this party as well, I'm jumping in. I can play that one on ukulele. So, can I? I haven't played in like 3 years. It's like riding a bike. So Rochelle pulling that one out. Everybody's having a good sing. It's quite beautiful. I got to say, it's really nice. Next, another one from deep within the Fortress of the Moles, location unknown. I would love to thank Brandon Teal. Teal is a fantastic surname. I like that so much. Another ukulele kind of hit, Riptide, Vance Joy, which actually the other day I saw a TikTok that was like, Here's a bunch of one-hit wonders you forgot about. And Riptide from Vance Joy was on there, and I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm in Australia or I work in radio and I play Vance Joy all the time. But I wouldn't say one-hit wonder. So I am interested if you're in like the UK or the US. Are you getting new Vance Joy music? It's arguably a lot of the same, but it's good. And if you're not getting it, Vance needs to chat to some of his people. Anyway, got defensive there on behalf of a probably quite wealthy white man. So who cares? He's fine. Anyway, I would also love to thank from Lanuk in New South Wales. I would love to thank Acacia Livock. Acacia Livock. Bloody hell, what a name. Okay, Acacia, you are, of course, covering... I'm just having a little scroll through here. A lot of Mumford & Son on this list. Lot of Mumford & Son. Oh, Cannonball from Damien Rice. Again, bringing the tone down a tiny bit, but bloody beautiful. So, good call on that one. And thank you for that. Where's this? Telfiner. There's Telfiner. There's going to be some sort of local way to say that. It's from Texas. Leroy Hines. Leroy Hines coming in. John Mayer. Your body is a wonderland. And everyone's sort of like, nah. But again, Leroy's rendition brings a whole new life and vitality to the song. They're like, actually, this fucking slaps. This is great. Thank you, Leroy, they say. That's what they'll say, Leroy. So you just back yourself. And finally, I would love to thank from Southampton in Great Britain, Amy Butler. And Amy is coming in and covering... I chose one and then I've decided to scroll past it to see if I could do better. And I don't think I can. Amy, you are covering Coldplay's Yellow. Obviously not everybody's favourite Coldplay song. Some of us love The Scientist. But a beautiful track, a timeless piece. So great choice there, Amy. Thank you to Amy, Leroy, Acacia, Brandon, Rochelle, Rebecca, Aidan, Neil, and Peter. You absolute legends. And finally, the only other thing I need to do is check to see if there's anybody being inducted into the Triptych Club this week. And there's a few. So, all right, let's see how we go with this. So, what this is, the Triptych Club, I like to think of it as like a very cool, exclusive airport lounge. Right? So, like, once you're in, you're stuck there forever. But it's got everything you need. We've got food, we've got a bar, we've got little sleeping pods you can have a nap in. We've got, basketball courts. There's all sorts of recreational activities you'll want for nothing while you're there. And once you've supported the podcast for 3 consecutive years, you are welcomed into the club with open arms. Matt is on the door. He's helping you in. In fact, actually, this time I always book. I'm behind the bar. So, but I was gonna do like a cocktail, right? Where there was essentially there was a little ship. I would put a ship in every cocktail and it would sink. And it felt a bit insensitive. But Oceanus. So everything is ocean coloured. I got a lot of blue cocktails. Are they good? Not really. No. But it was too late for me to cancel the Tower of Sushi, of all things. That is positioned in such a way that it's half of a ship. It's sort of sticking out of the table like it's sinking. And again, it does feel a bit on the nose, but nobody died on this ship sinking. And I am going to need you to start eating because it's sushi, so it's going to go a bit gross. So get on to that. Thank you so much. And Dave is always the one in charge of booking a band. What I have done is I have booked Joey Badass, who's going to play his absolute hit, Cruise Control. So That'll be good. And I've actually requested he doesn't play anything else, just plays Cruise Control. So I hope you like that song. Now, to bring in a few of our wonderful, esteemed new attendees to the Triptych Club, I would love to thank from Issaquah in Washington. I feel like I've heard that said before, and it wasn't how I just said it. But anyway, I would love to thank David Shields. And he'll shield you from bad times and provide only good times. Thank you, David Shields. From New Plymouth in New Zealand, it's Melissa Peters. And the party peters out until Melissa arrives. And she brings back and gives us everybody a second wind. From Pakenham in Victoria, I would love to thank Josh. And we're packing them in tonight. The dance floor is thumping. It is at full capacity. Everyone wanted to be here because Josh is here. From Lancaster in Kentucky, I'm guessing. In the US, KY. It's got to be Kentucky, right? She stops to Google and ruins all of her momentum. Kentucky. Never doubt yourself, Jess, you beautiful bitch. I would love to thank Justin Nichols. Only nickels and dimes. Here, that's all you need, because Justin's got the cold hard cash. Oh man, I'm bad at these. From Stanmore, New South Wales, I'd love to thank Matt Row. Straight into my arms, Matt. It's been a long time. Haven't seen you, buddy. Park your canoe over there and help yourself to a blue drink and some sushi. And finally, from Grimsby in Great Britain, I would love to thank Conquer. Well, you're going to conquer the dance floor tonight, my friend. Absolutely. You're doing the robot. You're twerking. And it is working. We're having a great time. So thank you so much, Conquer, Matt, Justin, Josh, Melissa, and David. And I think that's about all we have to do. I've got to say I've done this in record time. Normally this takes ages, but even, we had one question today. Often it's the fact quote or question, it's the question part that derails us because we love to give thoughtful responses. But with just one of us here, there's a little less thought, I'm still thinking about it, but otherwise there'd be two other people thinking. You know what I mean? So anyway, yes, record time. Very pleased with that. Remember that anybody can suggest a topic. There's a link in the show notes. There's a link on our website where you can suggest a topic. So if you're like browsing through TikTok and you see something that's kind of interesting, or you stumble upon a documentary and you think it's a great story, let us know about it. And there's always there's an option to if you've read a really interesting article, you can just copy and paste that link into the resources, and that's a great place for us to start. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. You can buy merch over on our website as well. Hopefully have some new stuff coming up there in the next few months. And until very soon, we will say we love you, and we will say thank you and goodbye. Laters. Bye.